Okay, at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, September 16th, 2025, I will call the monthly meeting of the Village Board of Trustees to order. Roll call.
Awesome here.
Harv here.
Shampoo here.
I'll here.
White here. Birdo here.
Bell here. Okay. Motion to approve the agenda will be in order.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Pedonco, second by Housen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, approval of the meeting minutes from August 19th, which did come separately.
I did have a question for Bridget on page 3. Line 30. You had said that the contract language included remodeling options. The committee had indeed rejected remodeling in favor of a complete rebuild using the existing foundation. Is that what you said?
No, with a new foundation.
Okay,
The only thing that would remain existing is where all of the utilities. come in.
Okay.
We have to leave that.
all right. So that needs to. Just a complete rebuild, period.
Okay.
And then do we acknowledge or do we accept the committee minutes, Nate?
We accepted.
Okay, so then, on page 4, line 40, it says that we acknowledge the committee report should be changed to accept.
Yes. Okay, anything else? Okay, the motion to approve as amended,
So moved.
motion by Housen,
Second.
second by Bertle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Comments, correspondence, concerns from the public. Okay, we'll start with you, Laurel.
Okay, mine is in regard to a question I had with the finance committee. Do you want me to wait until the committee reports
I mean,
or now?
I guess I'd speak now, but again, this is public input. It's not gonna be a
Okay.
dialogue. Somebody can probably
Okay.
choose to address that when we get to it, but as long as it's on the agenda. So
Okay.
right now, it'll be appropriate.
Okay, Lori Hart, Sister Bailey, and this is regarding the August 15th Finance Committee meeting. After a huge increase of taxes in 2023, the village board told the villagers that they would do everything possible to not raise taxes in 2024. Then in December of 24, the tax bills came out and taxpayers were given another substantial increase. This room was full of angry citizens and there was a lot of finger pointing, accusations, and promises of heads rolling. Also discussed was refunding taxpayers their overpayment. That didn't happen partly because of the expense in doing that. We were then told that we'd receive the money back in some form on this year's taxes. The August 15th Finance Committee's draft budget came up with a tax reduction of 20 cents per $1,000 valuation. That's 2/3 less than what my tax bill increased last year. Trustee Berto stated she was surprised that the committee thought this was okay. And now it appears the committee will look further for ways to reduce the taxes without limiting future options for the village to be able to increase the levy. I know some members of that committee were very vocal about the increase last year, and I hope that they spend our tax dollars wisely and figure out a way to lower our taxes and not continue to tax us out of our homes.
Thank you. Steve?
Here's something, Secretary. I know you can't discuss this, but,
I should get your name and address.
okay, Steve Sauter, 10363 North Coyle Road, Ephraim. I am actually here addressing one of the properties that I own at 2414 Country Walk Drive. And on the 20th of July, I received a letter from the village concerning Unit 1 in that building, which is the furniture store that recently moved in there. And that it was informing us, the planning commission was directed to inform you that they will not process any further requests for this property. In the second paragraph, it goes on to say, in addition, there are violations of municipal code on Unit 2, specifically there's debris, unused items, and boat storage. I think there were 6 opties there, we got rid of those right away. And I guess I thought that was done. Today, I received a letter from Carla Heck with a $452.50 ticket. And it says on August 7th, a certified letter was sent to you regarding debris, unused items and boat storage that are behind the building housing Unit 2 of Country Walk Drive, the building that I own. The deadline to bring your property to compliance within 30 days has passed. I never received a letter from Carla. I checked with Alita, our postmistress, who surprisingly keeps a record, the post office does, of all certified letters that are delivered to a box, and there were no letters delivered to my box in August. Attached are photos taken by the village officials depicting some boats have been removed, but noxious weeds and debris, rusted metal structures, deteriorated pallets and stored boats. So I'm not even sure that she figured out that the boats were all gone, are still present. You are officially in violation of the village municipal code. Please be advised for a $250 fine plus court fees. Please be advised that failure to correct this violation within 48 hours of receiving this letter may result in additional fees and fines. And I just want you guys to know this is going on. When I called the village today to find out where the original letter was, I really was not given much information. I don't think she was prepared. And I did discuss the fact that there is a compressor out there, and that's what that thing is that is on the deck, which is of course to run the freezer inside. And there's a Bobcat implement sitting out there, which we use. So I thought I'd done everything I needed to do. Now, my court date is the 6th of October. So I know nothing can be done before then. I did write a letter to, or email to Carla, letting her know what that stuff was and why it was there, and asking for something to change. But I wanted you guys to know this is going on, because it seems a little silly that there wouldn't have been a telephone call or some other communication on something like this. I know that, you know, I don't know what else should have been done. I've given you copies of the correspondence, along with a picture of the weeds and trees and goldenrod at the village hall. So, I mean, goldenrod for me is a much more noxious weed than whatever grass is over in my garden in the back of the thing. And as I mentioned to Carl, I thought that a little hypocritical that was being called out when the village doesn't even keep up its own property. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Hi, Dick Burrows, 2340 Maple Drive in Sister Bay. I have three different issues I'd like to touch on in my 3 minutes. First of all, I attended the open house for the Parks building last week, and I want to congratulate the village on a big, beautiful facility. It should serve us well into the future, and I think the facility is magnificent, and it would be well in a city of 10,000 and in this village of 1,000. I do feel that we missed a golden opportunity as I looked at the facility. And I remember the discussions early on in the consolidation of the parks facility and the administration building, and was told at that time that those were non-compatible uses. And I went out and looked at the Liberty Grove building, which is administration and parks. And they not only have F-150 trucks, they have graders and dump trucks, and they don't seem to have any problems at all. So I think early on, with about an additional 4,000 square feet attached to that building in the design phase, we could be good for a good long time. We could have been. I realize it's water over the dam. I'm just stating this once. We could have had a shared building with a shared kitchen, that there's a kitchen in there, there's baths in there that would have been shared. I happen to think that I look at the number of doors and the length of that facility. Once you get into the door, we could have used that for voting for the elderly in this community, of which we have a lot of during the cold weather. They could have driven in. It could have been a great multi-use facility. It's not there. So we're gonna go ahead and build a separate building, which again, is water over the dam. It does make me believe, though, that my position on the location of the building in Sister Bay is the correct one in downtown. I think the building that's designed is significantly bigger than it needs to be. I believe that building can come in between 4,000 and 5,000 square feet with no problem at all, and would be more than sufficient well into the future, and would manage that property well. Finally, I wanted to say that about a year ago, I asked here for a site for drop off for wood as it comes off trees, winds, whatever. And I think the board agreed that was a good idea, but I don't think that they have made a determination as to where that drop off site could be. Seems to me we have an awful lot of property where we could put a site like that, chip it as we can, has that been decided? So we can talk about that another time. Thank you.
Thanks, Dick. Let's see if there's anybody else out in the public before I turn it over to you, Chad.
Yeah, this is just as a public member, Steve, unfortunately, you can't have a debate about your fine and your weeds. There are weeds all over this place. If this is the village we're gonna be, finding people for weeds, we need to stop. The process that we're doing this is flawed. Don't know what the process is, but it's flawed. We all have weeds on our property. It's beyond ridiculous. We've turned into the Yelp and Reddit version of ourselves, and that's on us. That's terrible. This is terrible. What a waste of his effing time. Terrible. This needs to stop. It needs to change. And until we, the board, can enact a proper way to do these things, it needs to stop. And then maybe we can build up a way to do it properly. Because if we're gonna be somebody complaining here and somebody anonymous here, we might as well just quit coming and being in person. And we might as well just live our lives here, because we're allowing these people to flourish in our village right now. And it's embarrassing. So that's me as a member of this community. I hope we, as a board, can improve that. And we better. Thank you, Nate.
Thanks, Chad.
I got questions on the CIP. You wanna wait till that is discussed?
Yeah, we can have you
Okay.
speak to that. Okay. Do we have anybody up in the? Okay. On to 5A, ECEDC, Michelle's here. Thank you, Michelle.
Well, good evening, everyone. I think, I'm gonna hand out some paperwork. I think we're on screen it's not working. So I'm gonna hand out some paperwork, but thank you so much. My name is Michelle Laurie. I'm the Executive Director of the Door County Economic Development Corporation. And I really appreciate you allowing for a brief presentation and a request for engagement and support from the Village of Sister Bay. And so on the first page here after the cover, thank you. First page after the cover, and I'm sorry I don't have any, but I know you're all enthralled with the presentation, so I'll get that. I wanted to first introduce my chairman who's here with me, Tim Duquesne, who is the owner of Door Landscape and Nursery. Yes.
You're still.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. Sharing, my apologies. You are. Oh, yes. Okay, I'll get this in a second. Thank you for letting me know that. Okay.
Michelle, we do have it up on the screen.
Okay, we're great. Thank you so much. Okay, so that's the last page, but if you wanna.
Here we are.
Yeah, let's go to that first one. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Julie. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Well, I'll go ahead and start just for brevity's sake. So on the first page, we just have a listing of our board of directors, and we have representation across geographical regions and industries throughout the county. So we're a small staff. We have 2 full-time employees who are focused on programming and 2 part-time employees who are focused on organizational and building operations. We operate a building with 17 tenants in Sturgeon Bay. So on the next slide, for those not familiar with DCEDC, our organization has provided assistance to hundreds of businesses across Door County for more than 35 years. And our mission is to enhance Door County's well-being by providing services, leading initiatives, and promoting policies which drive business growth and prosperity. So our values, we act as a catalyst for progress, a collaborator with our communities and businesses, and as a conduit to resources to achieve this mission. So on the next slide, in our 2026 through 2028 strategic plans, we do strategic plans every 3 years. We focus on 5 pillars, and it's really very similar to 2023-2025 strategic plan, except for we took out and added another pillar to call out talent attraction, retention, and development. That's really what economic development is. And if you're a business owner, you know finding employees and keeping employees and developing employees is the biggest part of our business. So that is what our focus is, and I'll get down to specifics in a minute. The pillars also include business advancement and advocacy, quality of life, which is addressing key livability challenges in Door County, including housing, broadband, and childcare, which I know you're all working on, especially the housing part. And we'd like to work in a collaborative spirit with you throughout Door County. A lot of the things that impact our other communities impact us all. And so we want to make sure we're looking at this holistically. As you know, Sister Bay is certainly a special community, but doesn't operate in a vacuum. There are folks coming in and out of Door County or Sister Bay and living in other communities and working here. So we want to look at it holistically. So that's something we'd love to work with you on. And entrepreneurial spirit and communication and engagement are those pillars. So on the next slide, some of the specific things that DCEDC does or can do to bring benefits and resources to the village of Sister Bay. Engagement of students in Door County businesses and careers. So one of the things that we're working on is looking at promotion of all jobs in all industries, businesses and sectors through our business tours and job and career fairs. What we do is we are doing starting a little earlier. We know that once we get to high school, it might be a little late to kind of get exposure to students. They might have already kind of figured out what they're doing. We got a Green Bay Packer Foundation grant to start a little bit earlier with those elementary and middle school students. So one of the things we're doing is revitalizing our 8th grade career day. We'll be doing that October 14th. Gibraltar students are certainly coming to that, as well as Washington Island students, but also all of the other school districts as well. Manufacturing Day, something we want to continue to promote. October as manufacturing month, so we're having those tours in all types of communities or businesses that are in our communities. So not just the industrial park, but all throughout Door County, and all students are participating in those in high school. So another thing, small business, entrepreneurial education and support for all industries. We offer one-on-one business planning. We offer group classes, boot camps, and more. We are administrating revolving loan fund programs for businesses throughout Door County. One of the things we're going to be doing starting in October is a new fund that will have preference for the trades and manufacturing and production. So we're not going to limit it to that. We have the low interest loan programs that we want to make sure are available for everyone. But we have a couple of other funds that do more general things. We really know that the trades and construction related employment is really important for Door County. So we want to really say who, you know, especially buying businesses, people who are retiring, succession planning, that sort of thing. We want to incentivize those people to be able to do that and to be able to sell their businesses or be able to get into those kind of businesses that are younger. So education for policymakers on issues from businesses and community perspectives. You know, we have our public affairs committee that we're starting. We do our Door County Legislative Days events every other year, but we're really looking to have that be not a one and done, but really be seamless with the issues that are confronting our communities and our businesses all year long, and really be able to go to Madison and have a little bit more consistent communication. So that's really important to us. Connectivity to state, federal, and private sector opportunities. And those are really programs that are going to be funding opportunities for businesses and communities. And I'll give you an example of that in a moment. Quality of life issue leadership and support is something that we do holistically, countywide. Housing study and support. Certainly the housing study that we did in 2019, we know what's happened since 2019, a lot of things, the pandemic, you know, short-term rental explosion, that sort of thing. And so how do we find out a couple of things? One is, where are we now? And really looking at that in terms of not just demographics that we know lag when we look at census data and those sort of things, but real ground employer interviews and also interviews with developers. And you have some great developers here in the community that are on your task force that we want to include in that, and really make sure that we have more of an idea countywide of what we're looking at housing wise. That's in the works. broadband study and support. DCEDC was at the forefront of getting that, broadband work started, and so we still work very closely with the county broadband office to make sure that we are served throughout Door County. And then village-specific opportunities, things that I'd love to work on with you is, if there's specific events and trainings that we could do, if there's a barrier, you feel that, traveling, we'd love to come up here, have those classes. We are partners with Sister Bay, NWTC. If there are things that you think the community would benefit from, but maybe there's that invisible barrier of coming south, where we're located, we'd love to do that. And that's, of course, we'd love to do that in advancement with your Community Business Association, Sister Bay Advancement Association. So what are those things that we need to be doing that are going to help the village that we can be a partner to you in? If some of the things we do for our towns and other communities are business and resident surveys for them, and that's just because we're a third party. Sometimes they don't like the village or the city or town to do it. They don't want that information, but if we do it as a third party, it gives that feedback, and then we can be that person for you. Conducting research and preparing information for village needs on economic issues. We have several databases and conduits to information that if there's things that you would like, research that we could provide, we'd love to help you with that. Thanks in part to the village and other partners, we were able to obtain a grant from the state of $225,000, to which DCEDC matched $25,000 to create the Door County Small Business Facade and Property Improvement Program. And on that next slide, you can see that we do have a table. I highlighted all of the Sister Bay businesses that are recipients of that program. So we actually just went through and I hit submit on our reimbursement to 6 of these 29 businesses. So they've been able to, a lot of them have already been able to make their improvements. I know Happy Coffee is one of those. And so we're just thankful for our partnership. Julie wrote us a letter that helped put in our packet to really push that we needed that in Door County. And we wanted to make sure that we are good partners with the state as well, so that we can always be that conduit to those resources that they have. So just last slide, or second to the last slide, participation in DCEDC. We're so appreciative of the village's support for years with DCEDC. And we'd love to ask you to kind of resume your support of our efforts. And as this slide shows, we have a scale for suggested community commitment. And this is really, as I say, given as a recommendation. We usually do $3.29 per capita. That's how economic development organizations around the country kind of do it. So when we do that listing, we really see that 1,148, we do it for 2028 census, would be around $3,700. So that is our request. But when I make these presentations, I do this at every community. We know that there are balances of needs that you have with budgets that you have. And so we want to be partners to you and be able to be in your community. And we really want to have that partnership. It's more important than the dollars. And so we do ask you for your support, but it's a long-term game. We know that, and we really want to be partners with you long-term. So I appreciate your time. And again, thank you for your past support as well as your consideration for the future. And I'd be glad to take any questions.
Questions?
Real quick one. I love all the ideas and things that you guys do. I'm just curious, where does the majority of your funding come from?
We have about 60% is from the public sector, and then about 40% is from the private sector. Private sector businesses and members.
So are you considered a not-for-profit?
We are. We're a 501c3 non-for-profit. So yeah, that's how we're funded. We're always seeking other things with our 2026 through 2028 strategic plan. We're going to be looking more for philanthropic individuals that might be able to contribute. It's really not been kind of our model, but we do have a few of those. It's probably less than 2%, but then we're always going to look to foundations too. Yeah. Thank you.
Michelle,
Yes.
quick question. Have you done a resident survey recently for a municipality here?
For, yeah, I have helped with Liberty Groves.
Okay,
It actually was more of a business. It was their housing and they did a housing
I
and
saw it, yeah,
that one. I was helpful to them on
but
that.
not resident.
No,
Okay.
I think they did do some residents on the housing part, but mostly was business.
Okay,
We are working on one right now countywide, a resident survey with Destination Door County and United Way and some partners to do a bigger one. But that sometimes doesn't capture, municipal information that folks are looking
no,
for.
well,
That-
wouldn't go down to.
Yeah,
the individual.
granular, wouldn't be as granular.
What's the
yeah.
goal of that survey? What are you looking?
That survey would really be to find out things that are, what are our challenges, what are people experiencing? We want to know a little bit more what folks are doing with their cost of living, housing, things like that. So we're really looking to see what is their experience here in Door County, and then and it's really for primary and secondary residents as well. So it's really more of a what is their experience for us? All the different partners have different reasons to do it. For us, we want to know what kind of workforce opportunities there are. What is keeping them out of the workforce if they are?
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
So you use your, like in that case, you use your database as well as
We would
DDC's?
publish it everywhere, but yes,
But I'm turning, right, but then also your database and DDC's?
yeah, we would do it all together.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're working on it, and that would probably go out in November.
The DDC's would be primarily visitors.
Exactly, and we're really trying to look at marketing it, community-wide advertising and things like that with QR codes, so that it's not really using the database.
Yeah,
It's more using folks to opt in to say, and obviously we're going to ask them, how many months out of the year do you live here? All of those things, so we can segment that data.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then are you planning on updating the housing study? You're planning?
We
to do
are,
one?
so we're doing an RFP right now.
Yeah,
And we have our housing attainability committee that DCEC's had forever. We've kind of just resurrected it in the last 2 years. It went dormant over COVID, but we do have some members of the task force that are a part of that. Marissa Downs as well as Case
of our
Smith.
task force.
Yeah, your task force.
Mhm.
So, we're looking at, doing a little bit less of that big demographic type study that we all kind of feel like we all know what the census tells us. I can do that. We don't need to pay somebody to do that. What we're really looking to do is say, hey, how can a third party do some assessment of what's happening with short-term rentals? And I know we have that data as well, so working with tourism zone, that sort of thing.
They got,
But
I mean, they're a
yeah.
huge amount of data. You don't need
Exactly,
that.
and really right, so getting that from them, being able to say, what's different than the 2019 study? How's it changed?
Okay.
And also some of the development that's happened, because we know we've added units, but I think that study probably called for, I think 1,000 units, something a little over 1,000 units. And we've not done nearly that.
Okay.
But it's really what, the growth's even more, but we also want to talk to employers, which that study didn't do as granular a job of, that we want to see that happen.
In terms of employee housing.
And what they're experiencing, yeah, because we have a lot of, I know anecdotally, we have a lot of employers that are, and even north, are traveling from Green Bay and every day.
Uh-huh.
So that is not, and that's no surprise, that is not sustainable, though, you know what I mean? And what is that number? What is that? And what kind of industries is that happening with? That's something that you can't get from a report. And that's the kind of thing we want, those real interviews.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you doing anything with public transportation?
We are working with United Way and Dortran with those kind of things. We haven't scratched the surface really on that. I mean, we're kind of leaning on them as our partners in that way. We did do our business survey that seemed to say that it wasn't as big of an issue that we had thought. That's why we want to do this resident survey. So the businesses are saying that it's not, we don't know that individuals are, maybe they're getting it taken care of and not telling their employer. So that's why we want to do that type of survey.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle has been really instrumental in getting us data for our comprehensive plan. And there was a project last year, where the plan commission had wanted me to reach out to Liberty Grove to see about the possibility of a joint, like, contractor park to help people get into the business of plumbing, electrical, etc. And Michelle was instrumental in getting some data on that, and then actually agreed to set up all the meetings for it. That project went by the wayside. We started losing interest from Liberty Grove on it. I think they just got busy. She's been very helpful with housing, the Shopko property. We have somebody very interested in the shop, or was very interested in the Shopko property, and
Look at it.
Michelle was very helpful with that as well.
They look-
Then, of course, the grant.
We're
Of course,
trying.
And of course, the grant, the facade grant, and, she let me know when it had been approved, and then I had let people know that I knew we're doing work. And then also let SBA know, I think, because they had distributed that information as well. So we've had a pretty good year, I think, with DCDC.
Thank you, Julie. I appreciate your support.
What was the total, for the facade grant that made it to the participants from the village, ballpark?
Oh, ballpark. Okay, I can look at it really quickly. It's probably almost about 10,000 per participant.
Okay,
That was the cap, wasn't it?
That was cap. Now, I will tell you that like Brita's Salon and Shampoo Flooring and that was all together. So those might have actually been more like 3,500 a piece. Because that's the one big facility, the one big building. So that would have been smaller, but I think that most of them got around that highest level. So how it worked, just to let you know how kind of it worked, is they submitted they could get up to $10,000. And they got 80% of what they submitted up to $10,000. So we pay for 80% of the project. And it's a reimbursable grant. They didn't have to spend the money. We had to sign an award that they were gonna spend the money, and now we're reimbursing when they finish the project.
27.5% for Sister Bay businesses, that's pretty remarkable.
Okay.
For $3,100 investment plans.
Yeah.
Pretty good return.
So Steve, I mean, you've got a business in Sister Bay. Is there anything that Michelle went through that, I mean, what would you need help with? Please don't say money. Besides an investment of money or something like with an organization like.
Grant's still open.
We're trying to get another round, yeah.
I'd be interested in that. You know, I think that I think Sister Bay for the next step of small business, you've got the NWTC bit here. And I came to the community and really had to kind of bang out my business against all winds. Everything's in a commercial location in a high traffic spot, and I really don't need that. You know, we're doing warehouse work.
Yeah.
So my business is in locations that would be better used doing something else. There just aren't any others. Because there's no light industrial, there's nothing else like that going on. I know that at one point, Michelle, your predecessor and I were discussing with Dave, the property behind Scand over there. How do you guys think of that? You know, on
Behind
on the other
Scand?
side,
For that purpose.
the 100 acres over there.
The Barbara Hall property?
Yes.
Oh, the whole
also
property.
I have been discussing with Barbara on the possibility of doing a light industrial, what ostensibly is happening in Sturgeon Bay with their industrial park back in that area, because if you're a small business and you just figured out that you can sell whatever it is you're cooking in the church basement or your garage or up in a WTC, the kitchen, what's the next step? And for a while, people were driving down to Alcoma and using the commercial kitchen there, and that was just not sustainable. And so there's no segue for people. You find that what they do is they go to Green Bay or Appleton or somewhere else. They have to leave the community to make that step. And so I kind of tried to get that rolling, but it got nowhere. I think something like that, if this community wanted to help small businesses take that next step into the Sonoma and Napa Valley like specialty, high cost, high value items, something like that can be really valuable. And you might have the property already in your portfolio or near it. I've always felt like that's the thing that's missing for me. Holly Hockers bought the last piece of light industrial over on the highway, it's just everything disappeared
Yeah,
as soon as I was trying to do that. That's why I'm in half of the Chris building, the old Shopko.
yeah,
And why we're in the warehouse up there.
Yeah.
And kind of scattered around, because that's what we needed to do to survive. Wasn't like that's what we wanted to do.
so light industrial that, businesses like that now. I guess it would be, and this is, longer discussion, but identifying what they need, like what would work for them before,
Well,
yeah.
light industrial will be the zoning nomenclature you need for the kinds of businesses you're talking about. I mean, I think it'd be interesting to have some place where the trades could go and have a building and keep their plumbing supplies, not driving it all back and forth down south.
Steve, is this when Dave was talking about having a Northern Door incubator for DCEDC?
Yes.
And was that with Caleb?
Well,
Or,
and part of that would have been an incubator. The idea was have the property, partition it up, make some lots available for people to go build warehouse space or commercial kitchen, whatever else they need. Possibly put an incubator in a building that could have people coming into it. You've already kind of got an incubator with NWTC, right?
We have a
what-
commercial kitchen there, it's just,
Well-
Well, it's, you,
well used.
yeah, but you get to the point where now you want to be commercial, well, you can test your recipes.
Right, you
but if
can't
you're
use
gonna go to
that.
Production.
Yeah.
You've got
Not for big
problems there.
production, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
so I think,
that's,
I want to circle this back to DCEDC on here. That's like so I don't know if everybody knows that DCEDC has an incubator down in Sturgeon Bay. And
it
that's,
has, and it manages the industrial park.
Mhm.
And that was the whole, my vision was we could have a we could have an incubator here, and we could have a small industrial park here. In a place that'd be great, because it would have been up kind of near the sewage treatment plant, you get water and sewer there pretty easily. And it'll be on the backside, where my vision was that the highway access was gonna come through where the new swimming thing is. Whatever the.
Yeah.
Sure.
The hot.
Yeah, aquatic center.
The aquatic center is gonna be,
Yeah.
because that would have been, that was Barbara's, right? That could have gone right back in there. To that highway and backside access.
Well, there was some serious talks back on Public property, right? You, the pig and DCEDC, I mean, that was almost gonna happen.
That was
Didn't
a
happen.
different project.
But DCEDC was gonna have a.
DCDC was gonna hopefully be a foot in that, and then, that just kind of fell apart because the seller decided that she had hoping about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was gonna take the pig and my warehouse, put it down
Yeah.
farther at 57, and was gonna draw the sewer down that road. And, none of that came about, and in the end, for me personally, it kind of worked out okay, because our warehouses kind of needed to be on the coast. I mean, our Smarty Pants people are here, the geeks are all here, working on the websites, but the real bulk of what we ship is going out of Pennsylvania and Reno.
Because the locations are better.
It's closer to the population.
Yeah.
You know, the reality is, even in the upper Midwest and down to
Yeah.
Texas, there's so many more crazy people on the sides.
Yeah.
And, but I still like living here, and I wanted to create jobs here, that was the whole thing. I kept getting hauled around 20 years ago to all the basements of churches, but I needed to have more affordable housing, and I just looked at that, and I thought, you can build the houses for free if you want to, but if you don't have a job, doesn't matter.
Mhm.
So building the jobs is the important part. For me, that's my view of it all.
Yeah, yeah, so you still think there's an appetite for that kind of a facility here?
I still think you've got young entrepreneurs, minded people who are showing up that have no stepping stone. There's just nothing to that
Yeah.
next step. There's no available access to them because it's either residential or it's commercial. And commercial's pretty enough. I mean, I'll be curious to see what happens with the old Lamperts.
Yeah,
You know, there's a big plot of land down there. They could have something really interesting.
it's
done
8
with it.
acres.
What?
It's 8 acres.
Yeah, it's 8 acres, so you could do a little something there. I was more interested in 80.
Yeah, I
when we
know,
were
but
looking at it, right?
it's 8.
So 80 that was gonna be behind everybody and we weren't gonna have to see the trucks coming in and out and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah,
Cause you know, there's no getting around that. If you're gonna have that kind of facilities mindset, you're gonna have more activity. And the people that are living next to it aren't gonna like it.
oh, they are.
So I had a couple questions for you, Michelle.
Yes.
One, I think that one thing that you're doing to your detriment is you're helping us, even though we're not participating with
Right.
the ECDC, you're not putting any gates up, you're not gatekeeping at all with that. So we're still getting the benefits of this,
Yeah.
even though we're not participating in it. I think we should participate in it, but I just wanna say that's.
I understand that. I will help the businesses no matter what. I
Mhm.
mean, that's what I'm gonna do, because it's not their, it shouldn't be to their detriment that the village is the supporter of what we're doing. financially,
Mhm.
right? I won't do that. Now, I would say if I'm gonna be a gatekeeper, if you asked me to do certain things with the village directly. That were, be a staff person, a liaison for the, the housing committee or something like that, I'd say. Okay, that's probably a gate that I'd put up, if you didn't want to support, but you wanted that, I would say that's probably not fair, but we're pretty flexible.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't think it's a whole lot of money, and like I said before, it's support of our work because we're being impactful to your community, not dollar for services. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. And we're gonna help businesses.
So have we never supported DCEDC?
So
Or
let's-
this recent that we haven't, what's the history there?
Let me grab that one. So in the past, so I have been the representative from this village of Sister Bay to DCEDC for 5 years. I think that stopped in 2020. We had been supporting DCEDC for some time. We had a bit of turnover with our board rep. And at some point, DCEDC, they were accommodating to us. And they were actually giving us a representative, even though it wasn't enshrined that they had to do that. They wanted to keep a representative from Sister Bay there, but after we had 3 people within a year. DCDC said, okay, and the board said, okay, we need to move past this. We need some more stability. We don't want to constantly have this revolving seat. And somewhere around there, the village decided to stop funding DCEDC. I think there was some sort of connection between there. So it's been a few years, and I think that a couple things that have changed since then is there was also some people at DCEDC. I mean, Michelle's been there for quite a while, and I think that, one of the big challenges that DCEDC faced was getting past their founder. I mean, like Bill Chouard did a lot for DCEDC and he was there for a very long time. But that pivot to being beyond just the founder's organization, there's a lot of places that don't make it through that. And clearly DCEDC has turned the corner and made it through that. Because Michelle, how long have you been there?
3.5.
3.5 years, yeah. So, and I think that Caleb and Steve had been there a shorter period of time, and
Yeah.
certainly more tumultuous period of time.
Yeah,
Um,
probably.
That's good backstory. Remind me when agenda items come up for us, though. Remind me.
Michelle, didn't we pay every year except this past year?
Yes, just 2025. So you've been engaged every year except 2025. And so that's why I kind of said, okay, I need to really come and understand and say, this is, what we provide for you and make sure, some folks are new and just wanted to make sure they understood and said, hey, we'd love to be partners and be engaged again as a village and DCs.
So like when we had this conversation, I said, Michelle, if you're expecting this to happen this year, I said, don't read too much into it. It doesn't happen this year because we're pretty late in the budgeting process. But that doesn't mean that we can't get this set up. So for 2027, we don't have this allocated, which is kind of where I think, I don't know that it's a great idea to, at this late point in the budget process, to say, okay, we want to find $3,300. But I do think it's something we should support because it does benefit the village and the residents and the businesses in the village. I don't know how anyone else feels.
Yeah, I think
it's
absolutely.
small
I think we
potatoes
can
for the rest
find
of the budget.
3,300.
Yeah, 37,
There's some big numbers in that CIP. I think we can find.
Well, I think in the past had given $5,000
Yes.
every year.
Even
So,
better, right?
It is more than.
And the reason that happened, if I may, trustee Berto, the reason that happened was when I came on, I said, there's no real measure of why we're asking certain communities for this and certain communities for that. So it's like, let's just give everybody, this is a recommendation. And then some don't give as much, some give lower or some give higher. It's really just depends. And so that the number per capita just for Sister Bay ended up being lower. So it's like, hey, that's fair. What's fair is fair. But you have absolutely given 5,000 in years past. And we do have, I will say, Julie and I worked together on what we wanted to do for the housing tour, remember the tour? And so we do have actually restricted funding of about $1,200 for Sister Bay in our accounts. So if that's of any help, you could do less minus $1,200, so whatever works for you guys. But I mean, we do have that, and that's always going to be reserved for Sister Bay, whatever you want to do with it. So. Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would just say, as chair, and also to encourage participation, in DCEDC to get more involvement, I can appoint an ex officio member. Because at this time, there's no board seats open for, we've divided, we have a matrix, we have a certain amount from Northern Door, Sturgeon Bay, and Southern Door, so the whole county is represented. But ex officio members can be appointed at any time by the chair. So if anybody's interested in that position to get more involved with DCEDC, let Michelle know, or I know, and we could definitely do that.
Is there anybody on the board that would be interested?
When do you guys meet?
The third Monday of every month.
Lunchtime, we serve lunch.
Yeah. I love
It's virtual too.
Yeah.
You need to, and there's no problem with it having virtual.
There's a Zoom, there's a Zoom option available.
I'll do it.
get lunch.
But you don't have that.
Yeah, you don't.
I'd only be in it for lunch, so.
It's an incentive.
So, but I don't think that we appoint that. I think that we leave DCEDC the option to do that. So we
Well-
don't have that murkiness that we did in the past.
We would just need if somebody was interested to let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is who's really
Who would be
interested.
interested.
Oh, Jed said he was.
Great.
Well, unless Kurt wants to do it, he likes to volunteer for fun.
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, bring mine in. I like you, Michelle, you know,
I like it too.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to. I think Sister Bay should have representation there.
Thank you, Chair.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you. I'm sorry for spilling on your floor, and I appreciate you taking your time.
We'll use the 1,200. Clean the carpet. Just kidding, just kidding.
Louise knows how to get scotch out.
Yeah, no, I do. I spill it all the time.
Ms.
Okay,
Waters,
next.
Okay,
thank you.
thanks, Michelle. On to 5B, CIP presentation and finance committee. You don't have one here?
How are we gonna do the CIP? Are we just gonna go through the whole thing from top to bottom?
I mean, that,
I think that would make sense year by year.
do we want to do it on the summary page or do we want to go through the actual document?
I think what's in our packet.
Well,
I mean,
I
that's
found plenty of things that weren't in our packet, well, not plenty of things, but a couple things.
So I think if we started based it off the packet and then if there's also some things that we want to address that aren't in there for those years, I think that would make sense.
Okay.
So then,
Do you want to start off, Chad, or? what?
Well, I guess we'll start in the packet and we'll start with 2026 and we can go through that packet.
Okay.
Wait, can I ask a question first before we start?
yes,
Can we clarify what part of this we are approving tonight?
we're not approving anything tonight because this is just a presentation.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, just in case, because I feel like there's, when you say, and I brought this up in finance, when you say approving the CIP, it's not always the entire package of it. It could just be the operating budget of it at the time, and that even confused me and I was in the meeting. So, just so everyone's aware, it's not getting approved tonight, talking about it. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Good, yeah, I appreciate that.
So I'll start off. I have a quick question, Denise, and that was related to the marina restrooms. So, then I'm on finance, we went through.
I was just gonna say, why are you asking me? You're on.
Because
finance.
it's 150, but it's spread over 26 and 27, and I'm revisiting. Cause I think that the plan would be to have those completed in 26.
It's gonna start in the fall of 26, so it might go into 27.
Okay.
Yeah, the marina building, they're hoping they'll start on it immediately after the season. 46. So there's,
There's no, if they start then, there's no way they get it done in 26, so then, okay, see that.
Okay. Right, and what we didn't talk about, what if it goes over the 300?
I think we should know probably sometime next year before construction begins that they will be able to filter out what the actual cost is if there's adjustments. Plus, they would be applying for grant money that would go against that.
Right, because that other one, we have to wait for that to expire.
That's this year, so you should be okay next year.
So we can apply next year for a grant.
I believe so.
Ice rink. I know we're on the hook for 500,000. Do we have an idea,
25 SIP.
do we have an idea that they're okay with us giving them 100,000 over 5 years, or they're anticipating they raise their money, we match them?
No. Community center.
Oh, that's different than our match,
The 500,000 for our match
is
is in the
already,
2025. SIP.
thank you for clarifying that, because this added up to 500 as well, so that's why I was, thank you.
The
So-
community center, Chad, is next to the ice rink in case you need it as a warming house or for
So
birthday parties. or
when is the purpose of us, that's part of the ability for us to spread that over? Isn't that over 5 years too?
Yes.
So how does that work? Tell me the cash flows. Generally, when you build something, you gotta pay for it or you finance it. How is that?
Oh, I think it's going to cost a whole lot more.
Is that the operating?
Yeah, but
Is-
$500,000. It is seed money for the conversations, that we have had with, the Friends of the Ice Rink.
This is just building up for it.
Right, and we, and the committee has talked about, once the rink is built, on, fundraising, for a new warming house.
Yeah.
And we have always talked together in the past that, the village, we would want it to be a community center attached to the warming house and have it be this multi-purpose.
Yeah, no,
structure
I'm
that
all
you
for that.
can-
I just,
So the village should pay something towards it.
you
and
said
this-
enough. I just didn't understand
Okay.
the cash flow part, and I thought it was actually for something else, which they probably need more than that right away. And then in 26, there's a sewer extension for 110,000 for the Devley property. It says public desire is the justification, and then water is also, I think, to that same tune somewhere else. Is that something we're paying for?
They will be charged for it. If they can't afford to pay for it upfront, they're, what do we call that again? I forgot the
We
word.
do a special assessment.
Special
We've done that in the
assessment.
past with people. As a matter of fact, when the sewer and water first went in, there was a lot of special assessments. Some of them are still out there. And people just make payments every year on the property to pay off the sewer. and
So how
water.
long of a pay period will we give for a planned development?
I think there's an actual set timeline. We have some of them, I think, are from the 1980s yet that are still.
Well, I don't think we can approve something that's not gonna get paid from now until 2048. So how does
I
that work?
think, I don't know, if we don't currently have a policy, that is a conversation. that
And this
we
is
will
a
have to
project
have.
that isn't been approved yet, right?
Correct.
So that probably shouldn't be in here. Should
I
it?
don't, well, sorry.
I don't know, I guess I want more history on it. You guys obviously are in the finance meeting and know what's going on. I haven't seen anything come through here yet. Other than a preliminary idea.
This is as much conversation as there's been about it.
So we're
Planning
I mean,
putting
we
it,
brought it up.
Plan Commission has talked about the project and
but
gave
fine.
preliminary, approval for, what they want to
Did
do.
finance give approval to?
So let me just clarify. on that.
I'm just trying to understand it sounds like cart before the
I would
horse.
think
is what I'm
That's
saying.
utilities.
Oh, utilities.
So,
This is not taxpayer dollars. It is.
No, it's not, doesn't come from the capital fund. You can't take it from the capital.
Okay, it's coming through utilities.
Yes.
Okay,
the first version of this project came to plan. Since then, we found out that it's going to change. We have not seen it since that first version though.
I'm just, yeah, thank you. I'm just trying to understand the financing part of this.
So the impact of this financially for the village, it's going to be carried on our debt, is really what it comes down to. So it's gonna,
So we're gonna be paying the interest on someone else's.
Well, we're gonna have to charge for
well, we'd have to charge for the interest, but we only have so much ability to carry debt. So it's going to count against that, just like the Marina building, which is not coming from taxpayer dollars, but we still have to carry the debt. Is that accurate?
Yes.
The special assessment is also an economic development tool because in most communities, you use your TID dollars for some of that to help spur development by having your sewer and water extended. We don't do that. So our tool is, what can we offer? And it's a special assessment to let them spread it out over many years to make sure it gets paid. In return, we know that they're gonna be doing a development that's gonna be bringing in a lot more tax dollar. if we go ahead and partner with them on the special assessment.
And that makes total sense. I just wish, I mean, something like that should have just a little more information to it than. I mean, that doesn't say.
Well, what's in the packet is only what we are levying for. So you got that number and saw that under the utilities.
Because- So we're
CIP.
not levying for that, because
Correct.
the money's already in utilities, is what you're
Correct.
saying.
Yes.
Can I just comment on the community center too, just to make sure everyone's on the same page? So community center is one of those, as you know, we are now eligible for CDBG. Community center is one of those uses that is eligible for CDBG dollars. So we're estimating that building to be 1.5 million, and it's a 2-to-1 on there. So if the building is 1.5 and you could save 500,000, you can then go for the grant for the remaining 1 million. So the idea is if you can, for 5 years, you're putting 100,000 away, at the end, you have enough money to apply for the grant and have the grant match. Now, you may not get it and you keep saving, but if you do get it, at least you have the match required to get the million through the CDBG program.
And is
Right.
that, are we eligible, because we applied for that and didn't get it for,
We did not apply.
I didn't apply.
we wound up not applying, right, okay, so we wouldn't have to worry about reapplying, and so we could apply at any time, it just would depend on how much we had, would make no sense not having anything
Well, it's every other year,
every other year.
and there is a lot of work ahead of time.
That
like
they
they-
offer it every other year.
Right, and then we'd wanna start in advance because Bailey has to do a lot of the precursor work to get us before we can even apply.
Okay. Thanks.
I just have a comment, question. So I see in under 2026, there's no money allocated for the village hall. And I thought that we talked about this and that it was my understanding that there was gonna be money for the village hall in 2026. So what's going on?
It was pushed out.
And I thought we talked about that at the last meeting.
I don't
You're
know.
saying the last board meeting, the last time.
We, there was, major reductions, in the CIP, trying to reduce it, to reduce, the tax levy, to reduce the numbers, and, there are all kinds of things that just got, every
I
year
understand
got
that, but it's
pushed.
like, I don't know, like sometimes I question our priorities because $100,000 going toward the community center at the ice rink is more important than taking care of the village hall, which has kind of been on hold forever. And we had rooms full of people screaming that they wanted us to take care of the village hall.
But that committee was also tasked with finding a funding source.
I mean, it should be Sister Bay.
Well, we did have a conversation with the committee and with Nancy so that committee could get together to raise funds. And it would be them along with, what the village, that is, I do remember that.
Yeah, we pushed at them to start, but we as a village I believe that we should participate somewhat and match, kind of like what we did at the ice rink or something at that level. We haven't had those discussions yet. I remember us pushing it off. But that's where Nate had the idea of selling the village admin building and rolling that into
Right. just
helping out the
created-
village hall. So that's as far as we kind of got with it, Patrice.
Yeah.
We know we can't afford it now. I think we're all pretty much for it here, but you can't do everything. But I think it's important for that committee to continue to come up with a plan as well, how we directed them to fundraise, and then we as a board are gonna have to get together and decide what we're gonna match.
So when is the village hall going to get any kind of money from the village? 2020, say 2028,
Yes.
2028.
Now, things are, at some point in time this year, we will be adopting the CIP. But we adopted a CIP last year for 5 years. This year, everything has shifted. Different circumstances, the increase last year. And trying to really whittle things down. And so next year, the same thing could happen and things could shift again. And things could happen or not happen. So even though we're adopting a 5-year plan, I would say over the next 5 years, there will be a lot of changes every single year on this plan, depending upon, what is going on. And we, unfortunately, I think it's next year, we have another, reval of our property. So we're just gonna have to take everything in stride, and kind of like the zoning code, it's set in stone today, but it doesn't mean it's set in stone forever, even though we adopt a 5-year plan.
I have a general question. So this is just throwing it out there. You know how we're saving $100,000 each year for the community center? And then at some point, we've put in 150 for the village hall, or say it was 100. Is there a harm in switching the years so that the village hall 100 ends up in the first one, and then you put 200 in for that year that you pulled the other one out of? You know what I mean? Flip flop 2 of them that you were just putting bucket money away for, so that the village hall has something to work with sooner. And you're still saving the same amount of money over the same amount of 5 years, you just flipped 2. Are we allowed to do that?
We're allowed to do whatever we choose to do.
Okay, I'm just saying, something to think about. Because if we're not using community center ice rink money in 2026, why don't we switch that with the village hall money and just, instead of in the 2028 having the ice rink at 100,000, it would be 200,000 that year to make up for it.
Well,
I
there's
assume they're
only,
not accruing interest.
right, there's 2 years that the village hall is in here, 28 at 150,000 for engineering.
And then another 250. I mean, it would take some
Right.
finagling, but I'm just saying, is it possible to flip things for projects you want to start sooner versus projects that don't need to start quite so soon? But you're still saving the same amount of money over 5 years.
Sure.
I think we should make that request, have finance look at that, since we're not adopting, we're
Yeah, I agree. I just
Good
Well,
idea.
is
was thinking
there,
about it right now.
give us definite direction, is there consensus to do that?
Yeah, I think so. I think the
Okay.
only possible drawback is what Julie was saying about that grant, where if you're not saving enough for that project, you might be losing out on grant money, or can that grant be applied to 2 different things?
The village hall is eligible for the
So you
grant
can
as
apply
well.
for both things.
Right,
So saving them both doesn't hurt us.
right.
Okay,
Well, we would make sure that we've still saved up the same amount of money by the time you would apply for that grant, no matter what year it fell in.
Yeah.
Okay.
good idea.
And I'm right that over the 3 years, whatever they are,
Right.
village hall is about 450 grand, right?
350, isn't it? 250.
No, you're right, 350, sorry.
it's,
No, it's 4.
yeah.
Is it for
that's all.
250 and 150?
Mhm.
In 27 for the Pebble Beach, and just engineering for the bathrooms is 30,000.
Yeah, it's probably more than that now, but yeah, it's an old number.
So
It's
To
the
site.
parking lot, it's the bathrooms.
we're gonna review that parking lot. I built that parking lot.
Well, we're gonna make it
First,
ADA,
should have done a better job.
ADA
Yeah, 'cause now we gotta
accessible.
That's great.
And it also has to do with the walk down to be ADA accessible, so it's.
Well, I understand the
Three
cost of
different
building
parts.
is gonna be expensive, but the engineering for it, the site plan is 30 grand for.
That's the price that we got, that's a 2-year-old number, so it's probably gonna be more.
Yeah, due to the slope of that parking lot, you're seeing a lot of damage already. So they have to engineer it so the water stops coming straight down and destroying the parking lot. Goal is to
mean from
eventually
the
add
sky?
outlet.
Or coming down,
Coming down the hill.
oh, from the road. Which parking lot? The one along the shore or the tree line, or the one that's?
The
up
one
near
closer
Fred
to the
Fuzzy's?
old Fuzzies.
Yeah.
So, and then, because of that, because it is, one end of the lot is so much higher, they have to put in a bioswale, and like Denise said, that ADA ramp requires engineering as well.
Yeah, okay. That'd be great to do.
So we're moving
Can we
on.
stick on 26 though?
Oh, I'm sorry,
That's okay,
oh, my bad.
until everybody, had any questions pertaining to that.
So the Highway 57 trail, that's matching grant funds, correct?
We have to, yes. Yeah, you have to pay a certain percentage.
Even though construction is gonna happen in 28, we have to expend that next year.
No, construction is gonna happen, on 57.
Mhm.
That's we actually have, next week is our,
Oh,
kickoff
okay.
meeting on that for the engineering.
Okay, so it is,
We're looking at construction in 26.
oh, okay.
Are you just talking 26 now?
Right.
Okay, first question, marina bathrooms. Are you building a whole new building for $300,000?
I think right now, the existing bathrooms are gonna get torn down.
So the marina is rebuilding and the village, the parks, well, the marina is the marina, the parks is paying for some of the bathrooms there, so they're opening it around to the public. That's part of the building, it's not the building.
The public restrooms are gonna be
So
rebuilt.
you're telling me just for bathrooms is $300,000?
We don't know. We've not gotten an estimate yet. We're still working with the architects on the main marina building.
How
So,
many stalls are we putting in here?
so right now it
Just like
has,
the
yeah.
Packer Stadium or something?
I know, it's crazy. Right now, there's 2 stalls in each one and the Parks Committee has requested a shower in each one. I see that number and I say that sounds insane. But they had recently gotten bids for the new restrooms up by the ballpark and those were coming in around 200,000. So hopefully it does not, if there's anything we can do
By the
to
way,
make it not cost this much,
It
we'll
just
make it
didn't
not
take any
cost
of
this
this.
Seems rather high.
much.
My
Yeah.
second question is, you got Highway 57 trail for $240,000. How long is this trail?
About a mile?
It goes from 42 down to Northwoods, and keep in mind, we also received $908,000 grant.
I'm just looking,
So this
because
is-
my next question is gonna be further down the road when you
I
get
think
that
that's
Highway
3/4 mile.
42.
Yeah, it's
3/4 mile?
something like that.
Why do we need showers in the public bathrooms?
Just kind of like we have family restrooms. It is, communities are finding that it is helpful. Granted, Sister Bay and maybe Northern Door doesn't have much of a homeless issue. But, there are times where people have been living in their cars up here. And, have to, rely on friends or whatever. Plus, there are many voters, that give out the code numbers to not other voters to go and use the marina bathrooms to shower. And so it's trying to help both situations. That public showers is a thing that is happening, around the country.
I'm not sure that we need public showers. And whether Portland's doing it or not, or we're good for them, but I don't think we need to expend for public showers. As far as the code, maybe the code needs to change more often. I don't shower there. But I'm on the marina committee. I haven't heard it's a huge problem from the committee I'm on. But maybe on
Well,
this that
maybe
meeting.
talk to Dave. Because the staff will think that the bathrooms are clean. And then they go to open them up the next morning,
Oh, yeah. I
and
mean,
somebody's been in there, so somebody gave out the code and.
so our public bathroom problem is solved, so we don't need to have them in the other bathroom.
But the
Yeah,
public's not supposed to be.
I get it. I just don't know that we need to be putting showers into a bathroom. It's a bathroom. Or using the restroom. You know, I shower at campgrounds, I shower at the Y, I get it. I don't mind a public shower, but I don't know if that's what we should be providing with our dollars.
It's also grant eligible.
Like just the shower part. or-
No, the whole bathrooms.
Oh, so perfect.
Bathrooms as a whole.
So basically, it doesn't matter how much of these bathrooms will be covered by grant.
No, we don't know if we'll get the grant.
We don't know. Okay, it's eligible. So we still have to spend wisely.
We have a Marina committee meeting tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll get strong opinions on it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the place to debate this right now. I think that it's,
And Marina?
yeah, no, I'm at the village board right now. I think
Yeah,
we're talking about the
sure.
CIP. I think that it does warrant revisiting.
I just 2026, I thought it was kind of decided, that's why I'm pushing.
Sure, no, we'll discuss. I think that it should be discussed
2028,
further.
Denise's point, a lot changes, but next year,
I was gonna say, to that point, for the 2026 ones, so this could change next year, but just for 2026, you'd be approving 150. So if there is no showers, maybe it comes in around 150, and then we could remove it completely from 2027. I think we'll know by then. We'll
Right,
know
we
before
will
we do
know.
this next year, if we need to include that in the 2027 season.
Well, I mean, if we did, there weren't four, were there 4 stalls?
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
sports complex?
Yeah.
And that came in at 200,000.
About 190, 180.
217 was the high,
Yeah,
was the high
Yeah.
bid. So we just wanted to,
yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
like,
I mean, none of them were
We will
local.
try
And that's,
to
we put the
design them.
RFP out, that's what we got, but we took none of them, you know that.
right,
Try to design them in a less expensive way.
Well, we talked about that, the finance as well.
right, just about easy clean,
Well, but
whatever,
also
whatever the
design,
surfaces are.
the design work.
Anything else on
Yeah,
26?
can you elaborate back on the Highway 57 trail, how far that is? And,
Goes to Northwoods Drive, right?
pardon me?
Northwoods Drive.
Like the corner of the past museum.
Oh,
No,
not
that's
that
a little less. Right
Or that, like the,
before 12.
Okay.
So from 4257 over to the corner of the pass.
not quite, it's gonna be to the vet, where Northwoods is in the.
Okay, whatever.
Okay,
But when you get, you don't wanna talk about 42 trail then? How far is that?
So the 42 trail goes from the village of Sister Bay to the village of Ephraim. It goes.
But you got half of it, most of it's done, you're talking from the motel going up the hill, correct?
That's correct. It's a very short.
What is that? 400 yards?
It's a very short distance, but it's also a more difficult trail to engineer. Because it's elevated like an elevated boardwalk along the highway. In the highway right away.
Yeah, they got this, you got it priced out at $2.3 million for this grant or whatever. And you're gonna get 20% of that, you're gonna pay 460 for this, for a few bicycles? You guys are really spending money.
Ken,
So then you got a total of $650,000 for bicycle paths. I think you can spend your money a little more wisely.
Ken, as I told you earlier, before the meeting started, is that when we were doing the comp plan and possibly another plan, trails was pretty much at the top of the list that community members wanted throughout the village. And we have received big grant money to do these. Yeah, it's still a lot of money. But it's one of the biggest asks from when community members took the survey and came to talk to us. It may not be your thing, but it's many other people's thing.
You got a copy of that survey?
We do.
Yeah.
If you contact me, I can send it to you again.
I hear what you're saying, Ken, but it's a matter of what we are able to spend dollars with grant funding. We get a heck of a lot more for our bang for our buck on there. And I think it is important that we take advantage of that when we can. And also, this is part of contiguous path that's gonna go from Sister Bay probably in the near future to Egg Harbor and hopefully
Yeah.
Sturgeon Bay at some point. So it's,
We did get a $90,000 for the engineering on it. The engineering was all paid by a grant through Destination Door County. The initial engine, I should say the design engineering.
Is that
You're.
Cumulative
I still
between
can't
us and
figure out
you.
where they come up with $2.3 million for 400 yards. Whether it goes up a hill or not, I mean, how much engineering does it take to do this?
It's an elevated boardwalk. It's kind of like a bridge.
So,
Maybe it'd be cheaper to put a bridge.
yeah, I mean, that's, it's $2 million just to go from the hotel.
The
Open
initial
Harbor to-
estimate, it has not been put out to bid, but initial estimates, I mean, it was,
We only went halfway up that hill. Not even.
I think that
it's through, we go through the town of Liberty Grove up to the Ephraim line.
Well, we're not paying for the Liberty Grove part, are we?
Yes, we are,
Why are we paying for the Liberty Grove part?
because Sister Bay wants to be connected to Ephraim and the remaining.
And I'm all for that, but why is Liberty Grove not involved in this?
Liberty, that is on the edge of Liberty Grove. It's a very small part of Liberty Grove, and I don't wanna say they don't care about it, but
They don't care.
that value isn't there to them.
But they've given
as
us
it is to the
permission
village.
to do that on
They
their.
have, yes.
Yeah, that does seem very expensive for that short of stretch.
I think
It
it's hard,
seems very expensive for that.
It
short
was
stretch.
less 2 years ago.
it's hard to tear apart those numbers until we actually have them in detail to tear them apart, though. I mean,
Right.
it's an estimate, so.
I mean, in the SIP, it says 1.2 million, not 2.
Not even,
No.
I mean, I'm all for
In the
that.
big
I'm not against the path, but that is a huge number, so it's like a short stretch.
Yeah, it's about
And
20.
this is gonna be on the other side of the barricade of the highway.
Yeah, so.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's gonna be through private property and it's gonna be a wood structure,
It goes through the highway right away.
so it's on the highway.
No, it's in public right away though.
So it's on the other side of the barricade.
It's not on the highway.
It's on the other side of the barricade.
Correct.
Yes, okay.
So in 27, we would put 144 or 145,000 towards that trail.
And it's done it with, I know this isn't the meeting, maybe get into the minutia of this, but it's done with wood, not paved.
It's not paved. The elevated part is not paved.
It's like a bridge.
It's
There's
like
a
the
way-
Tower Bridge in
It's
Peninsula
like,
State
because
Park.
that's the way, that's the only way to get up there. You need to look at the engineering, you need to look at your design.
Oh, I
you need to
get
look
it. I
at
mean,
all of
but
this is not the place to go through the minutia of all of that.
Yeah,
oh,
So that you can see how much it costs and why.
It does say on page 31 in my packet, you have page 32. It does say 1.2 million.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So
Spread
it-
over years.
And we got 900 some thousand in grants.
Okay,
That's
so
57.
so it is over 2 now, so this needs to be updated.
So the 144 was for engineering, I think is what we had determined in the beginning. And then if you get the grant, it takes a while before you can actually start construction on it. Like the 57 grant, we received that one in 23, I think, if I remember right, and we're first actually doing the construction in 26. So it takes a while, so you're building up to it, you have to do your engineering, you have to do some construction management, some bidding, and then once you know the bid, you can actually start your construction. It's a long process.
Well, whatever number it is, what's in our packet and what's in the hard copy of the CIP needs to match, whatever it is.
Right.
so you're saying your hard copy is different than the PDF?
Glad dropped this off. So
I'm seeing 1, 2 on here and I'm on page
32.
32.
Yeah.
And it's 144 and 27 and 1075, 1.075 and 28. Is that what you've got?
Which comes to 1220.
Right.
Okay. I
Yeah.
want to make sure we're looking at the same numbers.
Why did you think they were different?
Because someplace it says that
Somebody's
it's
saying
2.2.
2.2.
Oh,
Yeah, it's somewhere. It
That's
does.
in the TAP grant resolution discussion.
is that what maybe Ken thought or something?
This I know, this has to be updated. So the TAP grant resolution, we got those numbers from Skylar maybe last week, I think. It's pretty recent on what the revised number or what it is. And I was surprised because it did go up quite a bit.
So you're
Hey, you
saying,
got a question?
yes, Steve.
Ephraim failed in its southern path, passing the highway department, so they moved to the north side. if your goal is to meet the Ephraim side, you may want to cross, you're gonna have to cross the highway sooner or later. You may want to cross the highway at the bottom of the hill and go up the side. And then go through that property that has no development on it versus the property which is gonna be difficult to get through engineering wise where the bank is. And that could be a far less costly, quite frankly, a lot easier traverse, because if you're coming down that hill, you're gonna have to have steps, which means bicycles are out. So something to think about. I don't know when the last time you should talk to Ephraim. But,
So they're on the north side of 42.
they're gonna be the north side, because they couldn't get past Red Putter.
And where Bay Shore meets Little Sister Hill Road, that is, it's already a paved road. I know it's Liberty Road, but why don't we just add another shoulder on that road and make our path go that way?
I mean, that's the way I always go up and down that hill anyway. It's a death trap otherwise.
So when the project started, Ephraim had wanted it on the side of 42 where we're showing it.
Ephraim failed at that.
Yeah,
So-
that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
And then that would also allow us to connect or continue a connection to Bailey's Harbor and the rest of the county instead of just sticking just along the Bay Shore.
You mean going down town line then?
We would be able to go downtown line or other areas down Q and connect to other communities as well. If we wanted to switch it to the other side, we could, but we're gonna have to re-engineer the whole road.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
mean,
like I said, it was 90,000 to get us this far.
It might be worth checking with Brent to see where they are in that process. I do know that they spent 60 grand in engineering and then it's all out. So there's some people looking to straighten them up for that one.
So the village is part of the group that's doing the main trail thing, and that trail plan still shows it as going where it's designed right now.
So
Yeah,
we need to follow up.
Pardon?
I think we follow, I've been in a bunch of those meetings. That's not happening because you can't, there's that berm that comes out from the Red Putter that's right on.
Yeah.
And they can't get past that without removing it because they even at curb and gutter, they would have to blast that whole thing out. And they got nowhere with that.
Yeah, they're going out down Q, or they're looking at the options right now to go out down Q and then come back and then tie in with us.
Well, there's a back way through there, like they talked about. But I mean, the people who want that path are the business owners on the north side of Beaufort. They're not even contemplating connecting the north side path to the Anderson dock. That's not in the cards right now, from, so the idea of the path going all the way down, that's clearly years and years out for them.
I think the path they have right now too is-
the Blue Dolphin.
It's just a pedestrian path too, I believe.
We can't spend money on a bridge going to nowhere.
It's not gonna be nowhere, it's still
But
gonna
it hasn't been done.
be.
I was to get it to you from.
It connects you to town line. And that's a pretty big corridor there. I mean, that is a,
It's part of a bigger network. We know that it's connecting. We have those maps. We've been at all those meetings. It doesn't go to anywhere. It connects. And if you want, I can get you the whole map.
I want- yeah.
If you wanna see how it.
It's easy to parachute in or something that you've never seen before and decide.
No, it's not easy. I would love to have all this information.
I know, but that
This
was
is not
supposed
easy.
to be the purpose of the discussion. So if you could just be a little patient and try to understand it, you'll get the information.
Well, I know, but this is why, these are big expenditures and this is why we're talking about it.
Right,
This
so we're
isn't-
not passing it today.
so this is, even if we pass it, this isn't a hard commitment for us because this is coming up in 27, so it's still gonna make it through another cycle and it still has to be ratified by the board, so. I guess if you're saying you think this is a really bad idea, then
I'm all about trails and connectivity, but if we need to know where it's gonna go and what Ephraim's doing before we build a wood structure, that's gonna take a ton of maintenance.
is it
When there's a
fair,
road that circles around.
would it be fair to leave it in here like this and then ask the questions and have that before we actually do anything?
Well, sure, but this is why it's in here for our talk. This is
And I think that
what
it's an
we're-
important thing.
Yeah, this is why we're doing
Yeah.
this. This isn't a shot at anybody. This is discussion.
So this
And this
is,
is more information. This is
Yeah,
great.
thank you,
It's not trying to make anybody upset or call anybody incompetent. I'm just trying to get answers.
What I can do is send that master trail plan and the engineering drawings to any trustee that wants it.
Send it to us.
Just seen it.
If you want or not, send it to us.
This tech-
Yeah.
I-
It's our job.
I think it's important that we have those questions answered by the time we touch this again. And actually move it forward. Okay.
Anything else on 27?
Yeah, the playground equipment, we talked about it last year. one thing that I'd advocated, and I said, if we can't get people in the community to help fund a playground and use that as seed money. I mean, that is one of the easiest things to get people to pony up for. And I really think that we should look at some community involvement for the playground. And look at reducing our funding and saying we are looking for the community to step up on that. For 427 and the subsequent years.
How would you like to address that?
How would you like to do that?
Just put it in there and let's. At least in the CIP to say. That we want to have the community fund part of this. You know, that this is seed money, and let's make sure anytime we're looking at something, let's just say it's seed money, I mean. If nothing else, if the next time somebody else touches it. They're gonna say, oh, this is seed money.
You want the description in it to explain.
Yeah. And I think we should probably also do the community side.
The ice rink people have talked about that, the friends of the ice rink. Once
Yeah, I
they
mean, they're
get-
not there yet, but.
No, they're
Yeah.
not there yet, but
Well, let me say, let's just put it in the CIP, that's it. Just under the description saying we want this to be seed money. We don't want this to be solely funded by the village.
okay, and how do you want to fundraise for that, Nate?
Well, I mean, I've had some conversations with Door Community Foundation to see if there can be a friends of organization. To try and have a 501c3 that people would donate to. The most likely. Right now, we've got the Friends of the Ice Rink out there. And that organization potentially could pivot and become the Friends of Sister Bay and take things beyond that. Right now, I haven't even had. I've had a very extremely preliminary conversation about that, and I kind of got a deer in the headlights look, and I said, well, think about this after your project's done. and
Yeah,
maybe
they got
we
a
can-
lot going on. I mean, that's not something that's,
Yeah,
Sure,
leave them alone. Yeah, and that's, I mean, maybe later, but they've got quite a bit going on.
well, I mean, like,
next
after
2
they
years.
get this ice rink done,
It's-
does that organization
and-
have,
In 2 years,
they've been beat down so bad with this ice rink thing,
Yeah.
they ain't gonna do a damn
I
thing.
don't think that's.
Good idea, Nate, but it's in 27, so I don't think we need to talk about it yet.
And after we fundraise, then we got to run the ice rink, just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we-
Yeah, just saying. But I do think if we put plaques on it, you know, everybody wanted a bench and we wouldn't let out of towners have a bench. There could be a way to get community members that'd be notable, notarized, get notarization for donating, a place that their grandkids can swing on, you know.
I think that a lot of these projects, if we were better at acknowledging people and had a pipeline set up for them to contribute. I think that we could get some funding from the community and it's the stakeholders. Cause it's not just the citizens, it's everybody that comes up here. And like I say, a playground is a pretty low hanging fruit for that because you're giving money for a playground. That makes people feel warm and fuzzy. As it should.
I agree.
So I guess what I would say is, can we say seed money and then figure out what that means later? Just to know that we have that as a tickler?
I wrote down public funding in my notes, so we'll address that at finance. Anything else on 27?
Please make that 2011 Ranger an replacement for that electric. That vehicle is screaming to be electric, but that is admittedly in the weeds. I just saw that and I thought about that for that particular truck many times, especially when I was talking to Eric yesterday.
You want the new truck to be an electric truck?
The replacement for the 2011 Ranger.
It's a pickup truck?
It's a little bit.
Small.
I was like,
It's the
does it have a
smallest
drum set?
vehicle.
When you want it to be diesel?
Well, electric and tow more, it's got more torque than
Yeah.
other old Rangers, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the smallest vehicle in the fleet.
they don't use it, so.
On the then?
I'm just looking to make the new development. Electric. Ken, you had something in 27?
Well, I got something for you, can put it wherever you want. I
Right,
mean it that way, so don't take
right
it that
back
way.
at you.
Don't take it that way. You got a
Clarify
nice
that,
beautiful
Ken,
maintenance
if you don't
building,
mind.
but you got a dry storage building that looks like hell. You either throw a coat of paint on it,
It's gonna be
Can't do
painted,
too much.
Ken. It's
or
being
put
painted.
different siding on or something. and
It's
maybe
going
that
to
should
be
it.
painted.
Hey guys, can I comment real quick on Nate's suggestion for the electric truck?
Sure.
Sure, Eric. Sure, Eric.
So, that might drive up the cost on that significantly. I don't know if government sales deals with electric. So just be surprised if that, don't be surprised if that estimate goes up quite a bit on that
If it's electric, you mean?
Yeah.
electric range of, correct.
There's a lot of options out there that are coming by 27 that'll be affordable there.
Oh,
Fair enough. I mean,
so
that could
that-
change that. It's
I
also
didn't
gonna
think we
lower
were
your
changing
OpEx
it.
and
I didn't think that was a no, but.
I don't think you're going to because there's a lot of light duty trucks that are American made electric trucks that are coming out. There's 3 different manufacturers that are likely gonna have them in 26.
Can I ask Eric a question? When you guys have maintenance on your trucks, who does the maintenance? Do you take them in somewhere or do you have a technician on staff who can fix your vehicle?
We do what we can. The basic stuff like fluids and everything we'll handle. Some things just take too much time that we just don't have to dig into it. We're hoping, but we are learning to fix more and more as we go along. We get familiar with these vehicles.
I only ask because if you had a mechanic that was very familiar with fixing regular trucks and you threw an electric truck at them, would they be able to do that? I'm not against.
An electric vehicle would be pretty brand new to us.
Just curious. Thank you.
I would have to do the research on the government sales too, because I know we take we get a big discount doing that, and I don't know if government sales has a fleet of those type of vehicles yet.
But you're gonna paint the dry storage or the cold storage building, right?
That is the plan. Yes, I'll have to get some estimates and try to get that in the CIP, the future CIP.
Ken just volunteered to come
Yeah.
help, so you got some extra hands.
Ken, do you have a color in mind?
Got a sprayer if you want.
Yeah, I think Parks needs to approve a color when we get to that point.
Okay, all right.
It's probably going to be new siding, Louise, over just painting. That siding's pretty shot.
Okay. All right, Ken. You decided for us.
BD Thorpe just painted Anderson Dock on his own. You can go paint that building.
Hey, Eric,
Painted 2/3 of Anderson Dock, I painted the other.
Did you? Good job, Steve.
would you
built the
come
parking
and
lot.
paint our cold storage
Yeah.
building? So I have a quick question. This is either for Julie or for Eric. All right, there was supposed to, I think there was gonna be a carport or something for the village shuttle. Where is that gonna be this winter, over the winter?
The carport did not get built. They didn't do it because of something structural with the existing cold storage building. That's going to have to be on a future CIP as well.
That's a problem.
Well, if you're-
This shuttle
Is-
is worth
is this-
more than most of our vehicles. It cannot stay out all winter. I don't care where it goes.
Does it get used in the winter?
Yeah, we'll use through Chris Kindle, but otherwise it sat in the parking lot of the wastewater treatment building.
I might
It
have
took us
some-
7 years to get it.
I might have.
It was
some-
$137,000.
Off of the CIP.
No, I don't want. it
How is
needs
this-
to Park someplace, because he wants to put this into SIP next year. When we were told it would have a carport.
Wait,
It has,
if
it's
you
an
remember,
expensive.
the architect had explained
Right.
that building does
We
not
have to
meet.
hire somebody. to
Right,
do
that
the
building
lead
does
to.
not meet state code, so he was not allowed to touch it. He said, we are able to help you move it onto a slab, but we
Okay.
cannot touch the
So
building.
what's in
You're
there
gonna-
this winter?
In where?
What's going into the cold storage building this winter?
It's ebb and flow, Louise. We haven't quite figured all that out yet. We're just moving in. We're going to try to get the space usable, and then we'll kind of see how everything just kind of fits into place now moving forward.
So what's gonna be in the old parks? building?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say, Old Parks, if we haven't torn it down, park it there this year.
Old Parks, yeah, it would be a prime candidate for Old Parks.
Perfect.
Great.
Perfect solution.
Yay, I'm happy. I'm good.
Hmm.
So we had a question.
Okay, so. So we already have an addition now
Is there?
For next year for SIP,
for 2016 on re-siding,
2027. You said,
We're-
you said 16,
26.
26.
Yeah, are we gonna wait 2 years for it to deteriorate
No.
even more?
If we're re-siding it, it doesn't matter if we're waiting, because it's deteriorating siding and we're gonna put new stuff on. It'll,
But but Eric said we're putting new stuff on over the old stuff.
No, the old stuff would have to come off.
All right, okay.
Yeah,
So we can still wait till 27? Is that what we're
Okay.
saying? I don't know anything about siding.
All right. Well, that's a problem. Anyway, okay.
So we're on 28.
I don't know, are we done with 27?
I think so.
Okay, 2028.
I don't have any thoughts on it, mostly because it's reasonable and it's a long ways out, so it's probably gonna change anyway, so,
Very similar to 27.
yeah. That's,
Okay, 29. Oh, where it says unspecified under fire.
Yeah.
That is supposed to be the last year of the SCBA. I forgot to fill that in the spreadsheet that I had given Vlad.
just I know the seed money for the playground equipment, but I see 3 years of $100,000. There are 4 years of it.
There is.
We priced this out and this is how expensive this stuff is.
All inclusive is, yes.
Bailey's Harbor was how much? Kelly, how much was Bailey's Harbor?
Yeah, we need to do some.
It was a minimum, I know, it was a little over 500,000 for Kendall Park.
Some of it has to do with the surface.
I was gonna say, that's that rubber bouncy surface.
Yeah, the surface could change.
I
and
like
we
when
don't-
kids throw wood.
And
chips
Kendall
in.
Park is bigger than ours.
But then it's not inclusive.
I know, but I'm talking about just square footage, the area.
Oh.
Kendall Park.
No,
area.
I was talking.
Yeah, their square footage is bigger than ours, considerable.
Right.
So
Well,
it's
we're
fine.
doing ours 3 years later.
Do ours in broken glass, so tough.
It's a great idea. Well, if we could get them, if we would donate the bottles
like
from
eight,
Husby's, that
28
would
was
support you with that. Do that, for beer cans. Perhaps.
Recyclables.
Is that open
28, I
session,
had one
Chad?
comment on 29.
Okay,
Robo mower, I think should be robo more generic, because by the time 29 comes around, we don't know what our robot overlords will be able to do, because they're gonna be able to do snow removal. They've already started with that. I mean, Eric and I had a conversation about it. I just think we should just not limit it to the mowers, and just call them robo implements.
okay.
Robots.
29 looks good to me.
Okay, on to 30.
Okay,
That Gina lift again, that's just an aerial lift. Construction lift.
Eric, are you with us? Can you tell Bridget what the genie lift is for 130,000?
Is that just an aerial lift, Eric? If he's not slowing, that's okay. I can.
Is Eric with us?
Yes, yes.
He may be. Didn't hear you.
He's there.
Be back. Great.
Honesty.
I'm sorry, I was muted. It's just an aerial lift.
Right, but we don't know what it
Like a
is.
man lift?
Like a
So
si-
it usually, it assists us in changing out the village street lights and, anything else that we need to get high. Actually, we just used it today to take down the performance pavilion lights. And we also changed out a street light with it.
Eric, is it used to take the flags up and down and hang Christmas decorations?
I mean, we should
It
definitely go.
doesn't.
for it, right?
Help us with the flags. We have something we can stand on the ground and take off with that. Christmas. It doesn't really come out too much in Christmas either, besides putting the fake tree topper on. That's about the only time it comes out for Christmas.
Eric, we're having a really bad connection right now, so.
And I guess it also helps our up at, is that better?
Yeah, you're moving around, it's okay.
It gets sparely used during Christmas. It helps hang the big star at Gateway Park, and it helps hang the tree topper for the fake tree down at the waterfront bathroom.
How high does it go?
Eric, how high?
Off the top of my head, I would say around 30 to 40 feet.
Anything else on 30?
A little bit that you use it, you don't think you can find a used one?
I can speak from experience dealing with used ones. They are very temperamental.
I
And
got a guy taking a tree down for me, paid $90,000 for one, and it works like a charm. Nice and small area. I'm just saying,
I mean,
and I've had it for the last 15 years, so.
it's a fair question. I have personally seen lots of issues with a used one. Because of some of the safeties with the hydraulics. And maybe he got an older one before they implemented some of those safety valves. Like it wouldn't let you lift up if it didn't have the pressurization right. Um,
I'm just saying,
but by 2030, we should certainly can explore and see what other options are.
different if you were in business taking down trees where you gotta get up 40 feet. But you don't. You go out on a daily basis.
How do you want them to change the light bulbs, Ken?
How are they changing them now?
With the lift.
They have a lift. My guess is they'll sell it at that point and recoup some money to put towards the new one. That's what I would do.
Eric, so how old is the lift right now?
I think off the top of my head, I think it's from 2008.
So you're looking at a 20-some year lifespan?
Correct.
30, yeah.
Okay.
22 years.
And right now, you're not having issues with it, you're just trying to do some, to prevent it from being an issue 8 years, or, I'm sorry, 5 years from now?
Correct. Yeah, we're just trying to get ahead of it.
So that's something, if we're not having issues in 4 years, we may say, okay, well, we can push that off if it's still functioning perfectly.
Correct.
Okay, and then back to Chad's question earlier, are there things that you want to go through, other than this, that you had questions?
No, I mean,
about?
I guess I'm more concerned about the 26 stuff, and since the rest of it doesn't matter. No, the road was the big thing. I mean, and obviously the questions I brought up. 26, yeah.
Does anybody else have any other questions pertaining to the rest of the CIP?
Other than what we-
I definitely would like some presentation on utilities on how we charge. You know, how we float this for people, because if some people are still paying from the eighties for something. And this is a private development, I don't think we can do that. I think at the board level, we need to decide how we do this. I'm not against us doing this, but it's just new to me, because we've always just made everybody pay their stuff. But like if somebody even hookup fees, I got a house coming, I tell you guys, I'm gonna build my house, but I can't afford all this hookup fees, you guys will finance that for me? I like, that's the part I don't understand, but I think that's not decided here. It would be nice to hear from utilities on how we would do this going forward.
Well, I think it's as much finance as it is utilities. I think that
Megan would not
Finance.
know.
there's, I mean, it touches some regulations on finance, because I think there's some regulation I recall.
Well, you just said it was utilities, not finance. So how does it work, is what I wanna know. We build something that somebody owes us for.
Right, I think we will, if Julie said that people are paying, if we don't have a current policy. I don't know that we have done this recently. I know it was pretty standard. It might have been standard in 1972 when they originally put in.
Cause I don't remember us ever doing something like this, so I think we should.
Oh,
just
yeah.
have that policy.
Lots of people have done it.
Like in the last,
Yes, Ken?
No, I'm agreeing with you. There was a policy when they put sewer and water.
Right,
And I thought there was a policy if
There was
we
a
did
policy
a
with
crossing in
someone.
front of somebody that had a septic. I thought we had, there
And
was
they
some,
had to,
yeah, we
hook up.
compelled them on, and I think that there was something about how much credit we'd give them for their septic if they just put it in.
well, we will
After-
ask Julie to,
See what, I also think it's a fair point to ask what the history is, because I'm sure at some point, if we have the records for it, just to say this is what happened back when we did do it.
well, sewer and water was 1986, and he
That's
said,
Ron Kane, he would know.
that's when most of it went in. That was gonna happen.
but we've ran sewer and water since then.
right, but maybe nobody needed a special assessment,
Right.
is what I'm
You
saying.
mean we just did it and,
No, they just paid.
oh,
He's
Okay,
still
so-
paying for it, it's just over time.
he just doesn't, he wants to finance it through us.
He may want to.
May want to, yeah.
We don't know
Okay.
that yet.
I think.
He also asked, I think at last month's board meeting, if the village was interested in giving him any TIF money for his up to 36
That
million
was not
finance.
the-
project.
That was at finance.
Oh,
Was that an agenda item or
Oh,
just a
wasn't a
public
board
comment?
meeting?
No, it was a finance.
So that's a public comment, I don't know why we're putting stuff in for public comment. Like, it should be a discussion, right? It should be an agenda item that you discuss.
We didn't respond to that public comment, but he said it at finance, 2 meetings ago, July.
So it hasn't been discussed at
No,
any
no,
level, just public comment.
Was his ask.
Okay,
So then this comes back, I guess we'll talk about the schedule. Here a little later on. This comes back. That usually comes back in October, I believe. The CIP for approval.
Well, we have a
But fi-
finance meeting October 16th,
Something like that.
that Monday.
Yeah, under agenda item number 11, you're gonna schedule your CIP.
Okay. All right. On to 6A. TAP 42 grant application.
Okay, so this grant application is due in October. The state does require a resolution saying that the village board is in support of it. And that they recognize there is a 20% match on it. So I've put together, this is basically the same resolution we used last time that we applied for this grant. So without it, we can't apply. So I guess it, this determines whether or not we apply for our grant.
So. The village did So Steve stated that Ephraim spent $60,000 on engineering and then didn't move forward. The village spent $90,000 through, but it was a grant
It was a grant.
for the whole thing to do it on the place that that Ephraim told us they wanted it.
Yeah, it was actually in 22. It was Liberty Grove, Ephraim, Gibraltar, and Sister Bay. The administrators had started meeting and saying, look, how can we connect with each other? And the decision was to go on that side of the highway we're on. And then that group morphed into a much larger trail group,
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah, I know all of
which
that,
all kept it on that side of the
right.
highway.
And so we're not gonna get another grant. We don't wanna foot another $90,000 engineering bill. Even if it's would be wiser to have it on the north side of the road. But then if it ended up going down town line or one of the connection points, you know, on the bigger plan, you wouldn't want people crossing the highway anyway, right, at that intersection. So I'm just trying to play this out in my head so I feel confident on applying for the TAP grant, that it stays on the south side of the road, even though the terrain may be a little different. Because then you wouldn't be asking people to cross a very busy highway at an intersection.
Right, I know that right now they're doing surveying of their residents to see which route they follow. You know, one of them is down Q. So there's still. The bigger trail group is still discussing having a trail come around the south side of the Ephraim basically to connect to our trail.
But that would have to go down Q and town line then.
Well, it's, there's always been an issue about how do you get through Ephraim? And that's been the biggest challenge. And so the discussion was you end up going around them basically.
Because if you can't go up 42 because of the red putter, you don't have much of a choice on that side, right?
I was on the board when we went through the last highway mess. The 7 years of that, yes. It's not just the north side. It's the south side. It's getting from Anderson Dock up to the north side. There's just a lot of engineering problems. and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Very expensive.
With all those trees, but.
Part of the talk I think you're talking about, Julie, is cutting off, before you even get into from going down A. And then coming around the backside. Has been one of the things, most people, that's where they bicycle, you very rarely see bikes in Ephraim anymore. Because there's just no room for them.
There's a lot of bicyclists in that area, so
Yeah.
it made sense to go around Ephraim on that side.
They go down Maple Grove East.
Yeah.
And then they cut over on, what is it over there?
Sumac.
F,
F.
and then come back around and then get on town line halfway to the tap.
Mhm.
And then come down town line. That's where the race was the last 2 weekends. That's where all the races are going. That's the way.
It's such a bad place for bikes compared to like going through the village where everybody's slower and more paying attention, because that corner on Meadow, I mean, I drive it a lot.
Yeah.
I ride my bike on it,
So where my sister lives,
yeah,
that corner,
yeah.
they fly over there.
Yeah, yeah.
I struggle with that corner too.
I just wanted to mention, if your goal was to
No.
catch up with the Ephraim path, you better go talk to Ephraim again, because I'm not sure that path's ever gonna be there.
Yeah, we're still in communications with the trail group.
Yeah.
So the trail group's working on it and we're working on it, or are we working with the trail group, who's
Part of
working
it.
with Ephraim?
We are part of it. We are part of the group.
Is
Is Ephraim part of the group?
Pardon?
Is Ephraim part of the group?
Yes, they assigned a woman, I can't remember her name, who is representing Ephraim.
is it fair to say they're not as actively involved?
But it's not Liz.
That's why, like I said, you go around Ephraim, you may have spurs running into Ephraim, but you really can't go through it, like Steve said, so you have to go around it.
Yeah.
So Ephraim has no trail right now,
Right, they have a sidewalk through part, you know.
but so we're not technically connecting with an existing trail.
No.
No.
So we really are choosing which side of the road we're on.
Right, well, we're also connecting, once you cross it, that's where their sidewalk is as well. I should say sidewalk, it's a wider.
Yeah.
Striped.
And that sidewalk is on the opposite side from the red cutter.
No, there's no sidewalk there.
There's
no
no
sidewalk.
shoulder sidewalk
I was
on
gonna
either
say,
side.
if I missed it.
No, there's no sidewalk.
So right now, we're connecting to nothing
To Town Line Drive.
except hopefully to town line, which is why you guys wanna go on that side of town.
Town line to Q to wherever.
And-
Exactly, going around Ephraim.
And for the village of Sister Bay, we're on the same side of the road as our existing trail.
Yeah,
And
That was-
it connects easier to our Highway 57 trail that we're building. So we're not crossing highways back and forth.
so you're just crossing country lane.
So this grant versus what's in the SIP, we'd have to have. On my quick math here, about $100,000 more than is in the SIP to complete this.
By 28,
Okay. Is that roughly correct? Cause I think we're coming to us
Yeah,
to be
because you would-
360.
you wouldn't know if you get the award until 26. So then you'd be, and it takes a while to get through the whole process. So you're looking at, 27 would be pushing it. I don't see how you'd build it in 27, but it'd be 28 realistically.
So let's just, right, what is our cost if we apply for this grant right now? Let's just say we apply for it and then we get it and we're like, I don't know if we really want a couple of $100,000 or we've got. These other
20%.
projects we need to do.
20% of 2.3 million.
I'm saying like if we were going to apply for this grant, we then they'd have to give us the grant. Then we still have to accept the grant. I mean, there's
They
some,
have to award it
They have
and then
to-
we have to sign and accept.
So we can go through the grant process and decide later.
You could decline it.
Yeah.
If you're granted the award, yes.
how much, I guess, what is it going to cost us? Understanding that staff time is an expense,
To write the grant.
yeah, to write the grant. That's what I'm saying.
So Stantec and I are writing the grant together. He's writing it as, I think, as part of his,
Yeah.
part of
we
his
talked about that.
MSA contract,
Mhm.
and then my time. The TAP grants, I hate to say it, but they're relatively easy to write. The hard part is having the engineering and the estimate, and that can only come from the engineer, which we now have.
And how much are we paying for this engineer to do
We
this?
got a grant for $90,000.
Oh, yeah, so we don't have to pay for it. So we can move forward with this.
So far, we don't have anything invested in it other than my time.
And if we start running out of money, we can just go around and look at Steve's house and my house and get more weed money. Sorry, I had to.
What's the deadline for this? You gotta get this in.
It's the end of
I mean, that-
October.
that-
Oh, alright.
Joe.
With a public road for.
All right, so I'll move to
Steve,
apply.
oh, I'm sorry, can I just make another comment before you make your motion, please? So if our 2027 $144,000 is for additional for engineering. Is that, what's 27?
I have to go back and look at the numbers. This was put together before, okay, so when you have a grant, you have an engineering. And you have all these things. I think originally we had budgeted engineering. Stantec came back and said, we think we can do the entire thing within that 90,000 that we already have. So there should not be any more engineering on that trail. As long as the state accepts those engineered drawings.
Okay,
Now, if the state comes back and says, well, you have to have changes, then you have added costs, of course.
okay, so the 2027, the $144,000. May not be additional engineering,
Correct.
okay.
Is that what it's there for, is additional engineering?
Originally, I think based on the old 42 budget
Okay.
that we had.
So this is something we should have taken out when we talked about 27.
No, because we will need to keep that in there if we need $460,000, this is what I'm trying to get to, so I can update the notes. Is that if we have that 145 and 27, and then we have 215 in 28, we are still shy 460. I'm just saying that when we
The
come back and
20% for
present
2.3.
this, right?
Yes.
Finance needs to tweak and adjust those numbers
Yeah.
everywhere. That's what I was trying to get at before we moved on, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Which
No,
we
no, okay.
probably can move that, could we move that 27 to 28 then realistically, if we're not doing construction till 28, or?
So you're awarding 26. If you're ready, you'd be able to start in probably late 27. You could push off to 28, you have time. I mean, the grant goes for, I wanna say 4 years maybe.
Okay.
At this point, does it really make a difference if it's in 27 and 28? Probably not.
And keep in mind too, so the engineer who's giving you that bid, he's giving you the worst, I don't wanna say the worst case, but it's a high bid because he doesn't want a community to come back and say, hey, you didn't tell us enough, we didn't budget enough.
I know,
for
but
it."
it's also 3 years out.
But that's the problem, yes, so he's being conservative on, or he's being safe on that. But the longer you push it out, so if you have an opportunity to build in 27, maybe it's 2 million, and you wait till 28 where it's the full 2.3. Those are
Okay,
the gambles.
All right, finance will address that.
The motion? Please.
I will move to. This is resolution, yes, right?
Right.
Okay, I'll move to apply for the WISDOT TAP grant for this State Highway 42 to Ephraim Trail.
Motion by Housing,
Second?
second by White, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 6B. Supporting Knowles Nelson.
So the Knowles Nelson resolution that was forwarded to us by the land trust, people from members from the land trust. Because the program is at risk of not being funded and renewed.
Yeah.
This is the program we use for most of our grants. So when you talk about restrooms at the marina, I believe that's coming through Knowles Nelson. When you talk about trail grants, that's usually coming. That one, well, some of them aren't coming through Knowles Nelson, like if you're doing a wetland grant. Knowles Nelson is also how we funded the marketplace parking lot, you know, and did the work down at the beach. Knowles Nelson helped with the purchase of Pebble Beach. So it's pretty important. I think that we support this program and pass a resolution, send it on to the state to show them that we do care and we do wanna.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
McAdonko, second by Housing, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, who does that go to then? We just send it to our legislator or?
Yeah,
It's
you'll
7
sign it
term.
and then I'll send it on, you know, yeah.
7A, lease agreement from the ice cream.
So first of all, we need a motion to suspend the rules on this. What happened when we changed the date on the agreement last month, it affected the agreement we approved in June. So this just makes the dates consistent.
So
I'm sorry, second.
was a motion, do we need reconsideration? Is that?
So it would be it's motion to reconsider, which we just did. Well, all those in favor.
Yeah, all those in favor?
Aye.
Consider, aye.
And then motion to approve the new lease.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Bell, second by Housing, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, contract for ESI soil testing.
Okay, so this is in regard to the old parks maintenance facility. We've heard conversation that was used for a dump. We know the DNR doesn't have it on their records, but we hear a lot of locals say that was a dump.
Across the street it
it-
was.
Pardon me?
Was across the street. Not there where the fire station is.
And then we also hear concerns about water. It's not a state designated wetland, but we know there's water coming out of the escarpment there. We wanted to do some soil testing on the site, to see what we have there. And also, we ran into a lot of issues with the soil when we did the parks maintenance building, which ended up costing us more money. So we want to be proactive, spend the money on the soil test to avoid problems later on, no matter what we put there.
I have a question, so.
Yes.
It hasn't been determined where the administration building is gonna go yet.
Right.
So I'm just wondering if we are rushing this or.
Well, in order to determine if we go there, that's why we wanted to do the soil testing.
And you'll never regret having data for whatever you want to do on that property in the future if the admin building didn't go
Right, if the
there.
admin
You would
building
have
ended up not
know
going
what you
there,
can
you're gonna
do with
do it
it.
anyway.
I mean, I'm not opposed to this if we're gonna do this on every property that we have, and that makes sense. But we built the library next door, did we do soils testing?
Right.
I just, and like I think if we knew that there was toxic something there, but at the end of the day, people build houses all over this community. They're not doing soil samples, they're building them. The hotel is just right next door in a restaurant and a hotel across the street. I don't know that. I guess if we have a real concern,
I think the water is a big concern. The water that's running underneath that
water coming,
parcel
flowing off the
from the
bluff.
block.
Yeah, but that's not a big deal. That happens everywhere. And when you build something, you put French tiles in and you divert it. I mean, I don't even have a sump up in my house. Cause the guy that built it sold Jake Kadanko's excavating business. And he diverted the water. I mean, it's beach stone and sand. We have some of the most porous, easily filtering soil there. To build a 40-foot basement there, you could do it and divert the water. So soil sampling isn't really gonna do, you know what I mean? Like, that's irrelevant.
I'll throw this out there though, you know, when we're supposed to be watching out for the taxpayer dollars. And we wanna make sure that if we're gonna put something there, we know that their investment. Is a good investment, right? The last thing we'd wanna do is build something and later on it's cracking and we have to spend like another million or something. So what we do is we spend a little bit more upfront to make sure that we're being good stewards of their dollar. You know, it's just like out at the Wiltsey site, you know, thankfully we had grants again to do all the arsenic testing out there, but now we at least know what we're getting into.
Did we test that Lager Plus yet before we bought that property? I mean, we probably learned our lesson, right? We should have, before we bought it, we should have tested and put that in the contingency to purchase since we're so concerned with this now. Did we do that? No,
That site is not.
this just seems a little weird.
That site was
Like,
not.
go ahead, test the water, test the soil. It seems like there's an ulterior motive here, Mike.
What happened at the Parks building? That we ran into a soil issue there and how would that play out? Just say that we find that same issue at this, how would this play out differently, knowing that at a time?
It would add to the, if we had the same type of issues we had at the Parks building, I think we'd, move the building over where we knew the soils were in a better condition.
Okay.
And it would also save the money, cause then you're not, what happened is by the time we found out what was going on with those soils, we're paying, to have special treatments put in the ground, adding to the cost of it. I shouldn't say treatments, but they're doing different construction than they had planned on doing, adding to the cost of the building, just trying to get us stable footing. And it wasn't all corners of the building, it was just kind of like one corner of the building where the soils were really bad.
Oh, so this has nothing to do with the quality of the soil, it just has to do with how far you have to go down with your footings. Is what you're looking at.
Which, you know, so you find out from your soil test what kind of soil you have and what you're dealing with. So you know, if you're gonna.
Bunch of sand and beach stone, same thing I got, it's pretty good soil. Not for planting though. Okay, I'm all for it. Just seems a little weird.
You have a question in the audience.
Yes.
I know that property was in question as far as the Knowles Nelson grant. Switching Chris Schmelz's spots and using that. So why would you spend $6,000 to have the soil testing done if in the end we may have to use that lot to satisfy the Knowles Nelson grant?
So we're keeping our options open with this. I mean, like, before Parks moves ahead with this for potential admin site, we want to have the information about what the soils are. So
But
that's,
wouldn't you want to find out first if it would even satisfy the Knowles Nelson issue? Because there's a possibility that they could call back that money because we're out of compliance with it.
We're doing,
That
mul-
grant.
we're doing multiple things at once and they're all intertwined, and this is just one finger on the hand.
And I understand that, but we wouldn't need a soil test for $6,000 if you opted to go along with that, using that as a parking lot to satisfy that grant.
But there is not
It doesn't have
consensus
to be a
of doing
parking
that
lot.
on
Yeah.
this board.
There,
So.
and Knowles Nelson doesn't need to be a parking lot. That's something that, yeah, Parks does not have consensus on that. There's not consensus on this board. We're trying to keep options forward, open. We're trying to move forward. So I
It
think
just
that,
seems like you're spending a lot of money before you have an answer to what. It's spending money without a plan. And I don't understand it. Because I know that issue with the grant was out of compliance because of those parking spaces by Chris's place. So how would you resolve that if you don't use that spot? What other area?
There are
is
three
being
other
considered?
areas that are candidates to resolve it.
there are multiple other
And we've
options
had
other than
three
that.
So
meetings
when
with
are
the
these gonna
DNR.
come forward? So people on other committees are aware of what they are.
It will come to Parks. I mean, and we
Right.
only have so much bandwidth after a 5.5 hour Parks meeting. We can't do that again.
So one of
That's
the,
not,
one of the requests on the agenda is to do an appraisal of the marketplace parking lot. So we know what we have to do to
Also,
fix the
which is a
problem.
requirement for Knowles Nelson.
Maybe,
Well, what's
but
the marketplace parking lot? Which one is that?
the one behind, the door.
We
Mr.
talked
Ross,
about
parking lot.
all of this at our Parks meeting.
yeah.
Right, you can read the minutes for Parks, which are in here.
And we've always, you
I'm
know,
really not concerned about appraising Chris's property. I'm concerned.
It's not his
about
property, it's our
Set-
property.
It needs to be appraised in
Parking lot.
order for us to be able to convey.
So I understand what you're
I
saying is
get
talking
it,
about.
I get that, but why would you then
Which not this.
forget it,
Okay,
forget it?
okay, so we've got the soil testing here. Is there a motion that we move ahead with this?
I just have a question.
Yes.
There were a lot of things that I underlined in the contract. Are they going to be working closely, with Megan on any of the sewer and water lines? I mean, it's very specific in here. They also talked about that they could perform, that service for private utility locating, for an additional fee. How are we addressing that issue?
so we would not ask for additional, unless you want to, for additional locations, we could. Knowing the history of that site, I don't,
No, this is for locating the utilities. Right,
right, so we think we know where they are because nothing has changed on that property. However, I will say, keep in mind, whenever somebody puts a stake in the ground at the park, it seems we hit a water line. So sometimes we don't know what's under there. It's whatever your board wants to do on that.
but that's not answering my question.
Public
Is
utilities.
Megan giving them the information on the sewer and water?
Yes, we would go with what
Do
Megan
we
has. on
have
board.
as built for that building?
I have. I don't know, I'd have to look at those plans. We have some really, really old plans on that building. But I don't know what they entail.
I mean, that was my biggest concern. That we don't hit something.
Well, he's-
Because it has been there for a really, really long time and, so.
In this circumstance, private utilities, that would simply be propane line, would that not? I mean,
Well, you have sewer and water going up to the building, but we know pretty much where that is. You're gonna have electrical.
but that's not really considered a private utility at that point. That's,
The electrical would
Yeah.
be WPS. I really don't.
I guess I'm
Is that
saying
a
like things
propane line?
the
A
diggers
propane
wouldn't
line?
know about. And typically, diggers does not know about propane.
Propane line, maybe a buried gas.
Well, they also
Line.
don't do anything with sewer and water.
Well, when you call Digger's Hotline, our parks people go out there and
Yeah,
paint it.
yeah, the public utilities comes out. and-
The hotline doesn't do sewer and water.
Our parks committee does. You call Digger's Hotline and our parks committee comes and sprays it. Like, we do that.
And you can always call private line if anybody's super concerned.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, is I think the only thing there is gonna be propane.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we wanna go ahead with this?
I make a motion to approve the full soil testing.
Motion by White, I'll second by Bill. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the appraisal for the post office.
Okay, the board had earlier, said they wanted an appraisal on the post office. We budgeted 2,000 based on the cost of the Lagerquist appraisal. And, there's only one appraiser in Doran, Kewanee County that can actually do it. And he came back and he said, they want so much on that appraisal. And he said that it would cost us $6,000 to meet all the requirements that that the United States Postal Service requires on the appraisal. So do we want to proceed?
So we
Explain,
were,
Jan, why we want the appraisal before you.
yeah,
So we want the appraisal, or the board wanted the appraisal, because it's time to renew our lease with the post office.
I remember and I was there for that. It just, the post office doesn't care. We all understand that, right? We've been through this ever since I stepped into this village and before. Post office doesn't care what's gonna appraise at. Maybe they'll give us a little bit of a rent based on their algorithm. They're not, they're just gonna say, well, we're gonna pay this. That's what they've always done to us. They've done that to us forever.
Have we ever actually come back with an appraisal that they have blessed before? I don't believe we have. I mean, I don't.
Is there
think we
No,
have.
there's
precedent for
never
us to do this and then for them to pay us more? Is this consistent with, like, is this happening?
So the Parks Committee looked into it and the agent, because now they use a real estate agent to negotiate their leases, came back and said, this is the standard rate unless you can give us an appraisal showing that it is a higher lease rate is justified. So, and that's why the board decided to proceed with the appraisal in the first place.
I also think it's in our interest to know what it is. If we are subsidizing, let's know what it is. Know what the post office is getting from us, and I think that if we don't try and do this, we're never gonna have a chance of getting more from the post office. Is it guaranteed that this is gonna do that? Depends on what the appraisal finds. They're dumping this into a formula that's spitting out what the maximum amount of rent they can have.
so will this appraisal give us what the worth is of the entire property or what the worth is to the postal service? You know what I mean? Like this could, with the post office coming back and saying, we need all these specific things, is it gonna be a number tailored to just what it's worth for a post office building?
No, I believe it's it's the lease rate is what it is. So it would come back and give us the lease rate of that building. Whether it's, I believe whether, it doesn't matter whether it's a post office, but as long, it's looking at the lease rate of that specific building. And what it should be.
And the value of the building overall?
We're not doing no, this is the postal services criteria is just related to lease rates.
It costs per square foot, like you're in a city and office space, class A is $4 a square foot. That's all they're gonna do.
It wouldn't tell us like the resale value of the building.
It would not?
No, that'd be a separate appraisal.
Can they just throw it in there for $6,000?
I mean, how much more data are they actually gonna have to
Yeah.
come together to
I
get?
feel like you're gonna have, they're collecting so much data, they must have. it.
Does anybody have any confidence that the post office will pay us more a month? Does anybody in this board? Just, if you do, say so.
No, Nate wanted us to get it, so that's.
No,
why.
Well, I don't
It
mind
wasn't
us
just me,
getting it
but I was-
and knowing things for our overall being, but we just know the post office
Is the post
is the
office.
post office. It's like, so many times I can beat my head against the wall for the post office.
Do we know the last time we asked them for more, like a higher lease?
We've tried to get them to move buildings, we've tried to, yeah, it's a runaround.
But we always say, hey, it's worth more than that.
We've tried in the past.
And they
I
just
know-
say
I don't
no.
know if we have in the last.
No, because they have criteria. Form does that.
This is hoops we're jumping through to have, I think there's at least a 50% chance we're gonna get it. Get more than that.
Do we know another community that's done this effectively?
or done it at all.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
my exposure to this has been the postal agent in Denver, and then that was it, he was the post. He was in charge of leasing for
For the post office.
the post office, and he was based in Denver. And we talked to him last December. I
That's
think.
when they're thinking about moving.
Yeah. And then that's when they opened it up to other people, and they had solicited other offers and gotten, that's when they sent
See
out
if they
that.
could find
mailing
another
too.
location.
Yeah. I think we should know what it's worth, and I think that we should, if we don't ask, they're definitely not gonna give us more. They've already said, this is what it is, you have to take it, or jump through these hoops and then we'll look at it. I think that we at least jump
What if
through
the
the
price
hoops.
is more and we ask and they don't give it to us?
That's really unfortunate.
I like your optimism.
What do you pay for rent? What do they pay you?
So we pay them.
1,800, I think. off the top of my
1,800?
head.
I'll give you $2,000 a month for it.
And then we can cover that 6,000.
Where do we?
Real
You need $500 a month just to cover your.
You be a post office, et cetera.
No, I'm gonna kick them out of there and turn it to BRO.
Great view.
I mean, the point being, it's much more valuable than they're probably willing to give you because of where it is.
Of course.
And you can go get an appraisal, and I don't, it's gonna do you good. Unless you have a competitor.
You mean a competitor for them?
Yeah.
To see who are gonna replace them with?
Somebody else that wants to rent that space.
Well, the prop.
Well, no, we need a
It's-
post
it's-
office.
We did have a post office that raised PO boxes and stuff down.
Yeah.
I understand, but it's a negotiation issue.
It's not,
How do you
no,
get them to move off of their, we're here, you're stuck with us here.
No, they were willing to move,
so
actually.
we go to Ellison Bay, they tell us, so that's how they negotiate.
So have we ever done an appraisal in the past that was?
As long as they want.
No. We've never done it.
Never done this.
And we don't
We-
know any
we
year
want
by
to.
now.
It's-
Not on.
There's nobody in that organization that can make a decision to actually move
I feel like there was some
it. It's,
flow
there-
chart or
there-
something
you're
that
right,
showed
so
how much more, like when we first talked. Am I making-
I think there was.
I don't remember a flow chart.
et cetera.
I mean, that's a
No,
fair
that-
question to
that's
see,
what I meant.
should we reach out to some other? I mean, the hard thing is, and even they said it is, there's a comparable for us. It's not really comparable.
Well, if we're gonna pay for an appraisal to see what the square foot of office/commercial space is, I think we can probably get an idea of that in the marketplace and figure it out on our own, right? I mean, that's,
Well, what good does that do us? I mean,
it does us no good. At least it allows us to know, okay, we should be getting $100,000 more a year, or maybe we're getting a good deal because there's only 900 square feet there. I don't know, but I just know that I don't think this is gonna do us any good with the post office. I don't, I wish I did, but I've never had any significant belief in my years of experience with them that they're gonna budge on anything.
I guess my belief is that this is such an entrenched bureaucracy that if you go through the hoops and you check the boxes and you input the data and they put it through their calculator, it probably does come back at a higher rental for us. I think there's at least a 50% chance we get that. Based on dealings I've had with the federal government, I mean, they are very mindless, but they have a structure and they go through it and they follow it.
Yeah.
And they don't, the same reason that they're not gonna say, okay, well, we think you make a good point. They don't care about logic. They care about the variables they're punching into their calculator. I certainly could be wrong. That is
No,
absolutely a
yeah,
possibility.
I like your optimism.
But you got an offer on the table, so.
Thank you, Steve.
We don't negotiate contracts in public.
We can say that somebody solicited that stuff. Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the appraisal or the,
Allocate
accept the bid?
the money for the.
yeah. Motion by Bell. Nobody else? Okay, it's dead then. We move on.
Good try.
I just think we need to find a comparable, see if anybody else has tried to do this and it's been successful.
Yeah, if there's another village or municipality or something
You get-
comparable.
Anybody else who says.
We
they
just
did
got
it-
shot ourselves in the foot, though, so I don't think we can do that again for 90 days, because it just came
That's
to,
okay.
yeah,
We can.
so, and then by that point,
we're
I
not
think
gonna
it's
find
over
another-
now.
We're not gonna find another one in
I think it's over now, is what that comes down to. Okay. 7D, accept bid for the appraisal of the encumbrance appraisal.
Okay, so at the Marketplace parking lot, which is the one behind the Dora Hotel there. As we know, we had a grant there, there's an encumbrance issue there. We've always talked about, you know, what is the value and maybe we buy or build a parking lot elsewhere. We've talked about that because that's what Chris has presented to us and what our conversation has focused on. As we talked about a little bit tonight, that encumbrance or how you correct it could be some other recreational resource like a trail. Maybe the money we're putting in the trail would satisfy it. But to find out what the value is that we have to replace elsewhere, we need an appraisal. So we need to know the value of the parking lot and the stalls that we are in error over. Does that make sense? And so Mr. Drummond, he's been playing tag with the DNR. Finally did make contact with Luke from the DNR yesterday. He still has not gotten all the details on what he needs to do that appraisal. I said, do you have any idea at all? I said, I need to get, give my board a number. And he said, well, how about if we say not to exceed 5,000 just to be safe to get that going? Otherwise, we have to wait another month or find out exactly what it is. Wait another month, come back and get board approval. This allows them to keep going right away on it. Yeah, so he is saying it would not exceed 5,000. Again, you can only have a certain appraiser do this because they have to meet certain criteria. I can't remember if this one has to be an MAI one or if it was the post office one. But again, Kevin is the only one in Doran, Kewaunee counties that can do the appraisal.
I'll make that motion.
One thing to be clear about,
Motion by
DNR
Commissioner
was
second.
very clear with us, there are three things that have to happen in order for us to convey a property. One, like size, at least the same size. Two, the same value. Three, the same value to our residents, so pleasure and usability and things like that.
So a trail would work.
It does not, yes.
I think it wasn't
There-
just residents. it
there
was
are-
and visitors.
Yeah, there are a number of different locations, but must be like or equal, like or greater value and definitely the same size or bigger.
And near the downtown.
Yeah, and near downtown adjacent to, and we've got a number of those. So not just this, but we need to do this one.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, accept bid for Lake Ledge Naturalist, waterfront park signage.
Okay, so the Parks Department has talked about historic signage shown at the waterfront. And they have been working with a firm that would design the sign. And then we would also have to have a mason actually build the supports, but the frame, the signage, everything would be mounted on there. For her work for the two signs, the estimate is $25,000. So we would need a motion to accept the bid on that. I will add too, this is being paid for out of the municipal reimbursement funds, which are tourism related funds, not taxpayer dollars. And this was approved by finance and then parks as well.
Is that the location of where those signs are gonna be?
We have to determine the exact location, but the thought was keep it somewhat near the museum, the waterfront museum, since it's a historical asset as well.
I would suggest moving it down closer to the museum or.
I would too.
Because a lot of people use that grass behind there and look out at the water, and the last thing you want is a sign right there. That's a really bad place to put it. I'd almost run it parallel, along the walkway or up near the pavilion parallel, so it doesn't block the water view.
So we did talk about keeping it parallel to the sidewalk and I'm sorry, moving it so when you were out on the street, you didn't look through and see it.
Yes, right, that was my biggest concern when I
So,
saw,
like
because
this
when we
thing.
did our walk around, this was not where we chose it.
Okay, good.
Because I was, again, dead set against that also. You
Yeah, okay.
don't want that in the vision from
Yeah, all right,
the
perfect.
sidewalk.
Thank you.
It was actually maybe tucked a little bit behind the village hall building.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good spot, or,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of
Because
good,
there's already a building.
there's a lot of good spots to put it where
Yeah.
it's not blocking view, and, yeah, perfect, okay, good.
Ellie, did you have something to say?
Sorry, I was just gonna say, a lot of people use that grassy area too for like, they lay out their beach chairs and their beach towels and, sorry, I'm toddler here. So I would suggest like a different location as well.
So do we want to approve this and have Parks come to the final location?
We did, just not correctly on the
Okay.
photo, but yeah.
Okay. Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we, accept this historic signage and for the amount of $25,000 to go ahead with this.
Okay, motion by Shampo,
Second.
second by Housen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, 7F, annual administrator evaluation.
So I'll start and then maybe
Want me to go
Louise
through it?
can add in if you want.
Sure.
So every year, every employee gets an evaluation. Mine is always due in September 1 of every year. So we were ranking the, all of our employees, myself included, on a scale of 1 to 9, with 9 being excellent. The one that was done last year was never shared with the board, so that is in here. So that was, the evaluation score overall was 7.47 out of 9, and that was, slightly higher than the previous year. This year, we actually changed that ranking where it's 1 to 5, and, with 5 being very good, and the overall score was 4.37. So, overall, in my opinion, I think they were, good evaluations. No, there's always 1 or 2 with, some negative or questions or something like that, but overall, I think it was a very good and fair evaluation.
I have a couple questions. I didn't like the 1 to 5 at all. I much prefer the 1 to 9. It just gave you more leeway. 4 and 5, there's not that much leeway. 7 to 9, a lot of range. In my personal opinion, I think we should go back to the 1 through 9. I think it's much easier to hone in exactly where the person filling out the form feels, because if I wanted to do a 4.5, well, I can't, but there's a 4 or a 5, so which one do I choose? And I kind of feel like an 8 on a scale of 1 to 9 would be that thing. It's not a 7, it's a 9, it's an 8. I just found those numbers were easier.
If you're gonna do that, why wouldn't you just do 1 to 10? So we've all went through school forever on a 1 to
Sure,
100 scale,
sure.
and 1 to 10 is 1 to 100. Basically.
So that's one critique, and so in 24, all trustees completed the evaluation, but this year we only had 5 trustees do it, and I think everybody should be obligated. We are all trustees. It is our obligation to fill this out, and I think it should be mandatory from now on, that you don't get to not fill one out.
Well, it's
So-
not in the bylaws. We could make.
It isn't in the bylaws, and I didn't fill one out after I consulted with Randy. So that was not something that was just a willy-nilly, I'm not going to do this, and actually. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, well, that means somebody else didn't do one.
Yeah, I didn't fill one out.
Moving forward, I think
I
it's
didn't think it
our,
was required.
I think it's our responsibility.
And then with the employees too, you had 6 last year, but because you didn't have a clerk or an admin this year, you couldn't do those, so you only had the 4 employees this
Yeah,
year.
all 4 did.
So we don't need any action on that, although Denise, I think what we would do is with your comment, make a recommendation to the personnel committee.
Well, that's only if, other people think that also.
So would say there was a lot of thought and conversation. I think that was at 2 different personnel committee meetings. And it wasn't just, we're gonna go from 1 to 9 to 1 to 5. There was a lot of thought, and it was harmonizing all the other evaluations that were happening too, because it wasn't just the administrator evaluation, but correct me if I'm wrong here, but that's how I recall, we had redone all the evaluation forms.
Yeah.
For everything in the
Well,
village.
we created a second evaluation form too, so that it was more unique to each individual, to each role.
So I,
I still like the 9. If nobody else agrees with me, that's fine.
I'm indifferent,
Yeah, I mean,
whatever you all decide.
but if you're gonna do 9, just do 10. 'Cause then I get it, right, 100%. What,
Well, I
0%?
mean, as a point of information, last year,
5 to me is wrong.
if it was 1 through 9, right? Most people were either 8 or 9. And this year, most people were 4 or 5. So I don't know
It's not much different.
what other choices you would have made. And there were
Well,
a few that
I
were
think
all-
it's,
But I'm happy to go to 9.
I just think that having somebody reaching a 9 is really exceptional when you could be an 8 or a 7. Okay,
Mhm.
but when you only have 5 numbers to choose from, 4 seems so much lower. Quit laughing at me. Shannon.
After 4 beers, I'm a 9.
The boys always get pretty rich.
You know,
sometimes.
and
That's what I was thinking, that's why I started, I'm sorry.
do you understand?
I know what you're saying, I know.
Need a
I
difficult
I
time.
understand what you're saying, I just don't understand why you can't think that a 5 is in.
so here's,
But
here,
that's, everybody thinks different.
I'm recalling the,
It's
why
really
we
okay,
changed.
we could go either way, honestly.
Is because each one of those had a word associated to it. So it was saying, okay, well, there was, you know,
Yeah, we did that, and we did.
so like every 1 through
1
5, like now you have to
As
have
well. Those
9 different
make
words to
sense.
describe what each one of those numbers mean. And it made a lot of sense. to me,
Well,
so-
Oh, yeah.
Give every other number a word. Not every number maybe has to create a word. If 9 is excellent and 1 sucks, you know, I mean, you can do 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. You don't have, and so then in between those words is an in-between number that means somewhere in between.
Now you lost.
I'm just responding to Nate.
I
That's,
know.
that's how I would do it. Whatever.
Okay.
I'll deal with whatever you give me.
Consider, of course, Bridget's.
Yeah, take it back to personnel, but I would just say, when you're going through these evaluations, my guess is you look at the number, but then there's much more weight on the comment section below every single rank.
Yeah, but it's not weighted for comments, it's weighted.
Right, but I'm saying,
When we
That's-
score it and we weight
I
it,
feel like
stuff,
that's-
weighted on the number, yeah.
the numbers are great, but I feel like the comments and the description
Yeah.
that go with each question is what really
It's important.
matters.
And in the evaluation itself, we do go through all of those comments.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which I think is the
Everybody.
most important
Mhm.
thing for the employee to go through.
It is, right.
Anyways,
Was there enough room to make comments? Because I know that was something from the last
No.
couple of years. There still wasn't?
no, did you see me? I wrote all of them.
I saw, I did see you do that. yeah.
Well, I think I kept
Well, what if
expanding.
we gave it, I mean, if
The
it's a
boxes.
fillable PDF, then have at it.
I think I kept expanding the PDFs
Yeah.
and making the box bigger. See, you probably printed yours out and then I would
Yeah.
backspace to tighten other things up.
Okay,
So
that's.
it all
fine.
depends on, you know, if you print it out, yeah, there's probably not enough space. If you do it on the computer.
It's good to get them digitally, actually, for the office, to be honest. It helps the office, but okay, we'll look at it again. It's honestly, we're happy to look at it every year. Okay, we can always do better.
I think it would be better to pick one and stick to it for 10 years, so they're relevant year over year. That just,
Right.
That's true too, because now if you switch back.
yeah.
Okay.
So we'll refer that back to personnel to discuss. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. 7G, the liquor license amendment.
Finally, Ben. So as you read in the packet, Ben from Alpaca to Apparel has requested an amendment to his liquor license. And it is to basically provide, I'm sorry,
I
little
couldn't
mixed
tell
here.
there is very much difference in the map. Am I missing something?
There's not a lot of difference in the map, but it excludes, it goes around the alpaca area now and around a bench. So if you compare them side by side like this, you can kind of.
Well, but that's not how they were delivered in the packet, so you couldn't do that.
Yeah, I just, I noticed it would have been easier to do it that way, so. And then Ben is here to answer questions about that if you have.
So is
the
the
light-
space actually getting smaller?
Yes.
Pardon me, Denise, what was that?
The space is getting smaller, it looks like.
Well, this was not approved. Remember, it was a motion by Berto, second by Hausen to approve the license request of Alpaca to Apparel for combination Class A liquor license.
Oh,
To
to
sell
the
entire-
interior of the building.
Right, but it was, so this is what he had proposed, but it was amended to limit the sales areas to the interior of the building.
Right.
So what he's shown on the map is what he applied for, was not approved. He's coming back now saying, okay, well, can I do this?
Why
Well,
do you want to
because-
sell out?
A
Because
class,
there's not a lot of foot traffic down the street, and if we're doing something outside that draws attention to the area.
What would you want to do outside?
So inside the store, we do sampling and sale of package alcohol. We're not gonna open up a beer tent to handle beverages on the street, but you know, like Christmas gifts, we have unique or package, like the gift packages,
Mhm.
of alcohol. Sell in a tent outside, during the bigger event weekends. I'm not talking every weekend. I know Fall Fest, you don't need a tent permit, but then, you know, if it's Marina Fest or, some of the other summer events, I'd like to be open to be able to do it.
You need a permit from the SBAA for Fall Fest.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I didn't
Yeah,
know
that's
about
fine.
that, I just checking, okay.
And is it my understanding it's not like you wanna do this all the time, you just wanna be able to. For those days where the code allows you to put up a tent during an event, those are the days you wanna sell out there?
Right.
Right, so it's,
Well, I think the village limits tents to how many days? Unless you're bandstand.
right,
and
15
Fall Fest
and then
doesn't count.
Yeah.
15 and then
So in
special.
order for him to be able to utilize a tent on his property, he needs to have this redrawn, so he's not doing anything illegally. I'll
Correct.
make a motion, we accept this.
Well, I have a problem with, and I think that I originally had the problem too, is that a class A and class liquor and beer is meant to be drank. It's an off-premise license.
Right, I'm not opening any containers on the property except for the sampling that's allowed by state statute.
I pulled up the statute and read it.
So if he's not, if it
Just
is.
want to have exposure
it's
outside.
technically off premise, because no one's drinking it
Yeah.
off premise,
Well, they're sampling on premise.
okay,
They'd be sampling outside
right.
And that's legal.
to very specific, very specific amounts. So a class A beer license. In its original package, container, or bottle for consumption off the premises where sold. It also authorizes the licensee to provide between 11 AM and 7 PM. Up to 2 free beer taste samples that do not exceed 3 fluid ounces each to any one person. For consumption on the premises,
That means per person then.
right? 2 3-ounce. And then under the liquor, it is for distilled spirits, 1 free taste sample that does not exceed 0.5 fluid ounces. And for wine, not more than 2 free taste samples that do not exceed 3 fluid ounces each. Very specific.
Right.
Most people that give samples don't give big samples, right? Because you're just giving away your product. But this is legal.
Correct, I didn't say it
Okay,
wasn't.
okay, my motion still stands.
Okay, motion by Kanako,
Second.
second by Shampo.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Order? I just wanna make sure, I'm not against it or anything, I don't have a liquor license, I don't understand all of them. Does this mean that 15, every Saturday during the summer, you guys can put up a folding table, sell a 6-pack of beer there, and then someone can walk over and sit at an outdoor table. And like you could almost have an outdoor bar as long as you don't open it.
My problem.
Okay, I didn't know how that works.
But yeah, it's off premise.
They could go into the park.
Yeah.
They could do, okay. I just didn't know if that would inadvertently turn into like a outdoor beer garden there on accident. Or something, like, I don't know. Otherwise,
Third question.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carries. Okay, committee appointments. I've got 3 of them. One in the packet is Jill Weeby to ad hoc green tier. She had asked about being on a couple other committees and she said that's what she want to be involved in. So I said, okay, we can certainly get you involved in that. There's myself to technology. I asked a couple other people to be part of that. Jerry Aaron said he would consider doing it once he knew what the time commitments would be. And I said, okay, well, right now we're gathering information. And I've actually worked with Julie on starting that process already. So that would be, I am, as funny as it is to have a committee of 1 person, that's what I've got right now to move this forward. I don't know if Jerry will agree to it or not.
I think it's a 3-member committee though, right? So we would need 2 for a majority. Isn't it 3? I think it's 3.
Does it actually specify it has to be 3?
I think it does. Yeah. I should have printed it. I didn't even think of that.
I mean, I believe like as personnel is right now, it's 2.
Right, there's 2, so
That's a quorum.
Okay,
2 is so
so if we can't do that, then we'll hold on that.
well, we could still appoint you, Nate.
Yeah, we'll
We'll
see what the ramifications, we can actually meet on there. And the last one is Bridget White to personnel. We had a quorum issue. Kurt had to do something else, as Kurt's allowed to do once in a while. And so I had to step into there, do an ex officio, and Louise said, we really need to get some more people on personnel, so I know that Bridget had mentioned that to me in the past, and she said she would be willing to serve on there. So we'll go with that. Those are the 3 committee appointments I have today.
Yeah, I know there were concerns at the beginning when I joined the board about that. I hope over time I've proven that I can be pretty impartial. And I think it's what's best for the village or not. So I don't think I would be a problem on personnel if anybody still has those concerns.
Well, Julie's retiring, so I think we're.
Well, and I don't personally have problems anyways, but I get why optically it probably didn't look great.
I'll make a motion for those appointments.
Okay, motion by Kanako,
Second.
second by Hausen. All those in favor?
Aye. Then Nate, for the record, those expire in May.
Okay.
And they get reappointed.
Okay.
Okay, so it's every year.
The monthly financial report and appropriations.
Vlad is listening, if there are questions on this.
I did not have the opportunity to talk to Vlad, so I have a couple of questions. On page 37, GA Computer Services says computer systems, $3,979.97.
Just a second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I do apologize. I'm gonna have to reopen the packet. I was doing payroll and everything timed out on me. What page? 37 you said?
Yes. Well, he's looking that up, Julie. Maybe you can answer my next question, which is also on the same page. Hey Gov meeting minutes, $269.10.
Right, we do have to pay to do the minutes the way we're doing them now. We used to do them by hand, and now we're using the HeyGov software to actually do the minutes. And it is $269 a month. That's a
For
lot
the
of
whole
money,
entire month? For all meetings or per meeting?
all
So
meetings.
it's a 10 meetings for that
Okay.
amount.
So that's like a contracted amount for,
Every month.
what, every month?
Yeah.
We
And
have
I-
10 meetings.
And I know that's shocking. 'cause
No,
I-
it's not.
But it
Because
is-
staff costs more.
That doesn't,
Yes.
that doesn't sound bad at all.
It is so much cheaper than what. we
I
get
thought it
for
was
staff.
for one meeting, hence my question.
So I'll follow up on that. If we have 10, I mean, are we going over 10 meetings and what does it take if we go to beyond that? Is it then a per meeting cost?
Well, you know, some of the meetings that we have do not involve staff, so there's some. I think parking might be one or holiday lighting, I can't remember, where the committee does their own minutes. And they send them in to staff, so there's some that we would not, I mean, when you look at, yes, we have a lot of committees, but not all of them would be recorded or be using the software to make the minutes.
Can you remind, let us know if we go over 10 and we start incurring?
Oh, yeah.
So, okay.
Okay, Denise, that invoice was for Marina, for GA Computers.
Oh,
Ins-
okay. I don't care what the marina says.
Yeah, it's new desktop computer parts and work. And whole bunch of
Why are
parts
we-
and batteries.
Why are they buying that? A computer?
They replacing technically due to
Yeah.
the Windows update or upgrade. So they decided to update their computer.
Okay.
Our meeting's tomorrow, I don't know about that.
On page 41, Door County Hardware, Parks Department or Public Works, a soaker hose and a sprinkler for $577. Please tell me that that's for more than a hose and a sprinkler.
Just-
It is. It was for a large. Large amount.
I don't know if it works
A
here.
reusable area.
I think Vlad's gotta look at that invoice.
But Sarah is saying it was for a large,
It was for, and I may not have put the whole detail.
okay,
But it was for a reusable sprinkler area for the new parks area, the parks building.
okay.
Oh, out in front.
And they are also able to travel different areas for it.
Okay, all right, got the answer.
Okay.
And then on the same page, we have 3 overpayment for connections to Packerland Builders.
Yeah, that's the refund for utility. So they changed one of the impact fees got refunded.
Okay, all right, I thought we were all done, we had,
No, it just happened recently. They changed their meters from if I'm not mistaken, from 1 inch to 3/4 or vice versa. Megan, is that correct?
Yeah, the size changed.
okay,
So
all right. And then the last one, is on page 43. I think I know the answer, Door County Storage, $2,000, is that when we needed some extra storage out at the cherry
That-
plant?
what happened? That bill hasn't been paid for forever, and we just received it.
Okay, is it for sure Door County Storage or Door Country Storage?
Let me see.
And I believe that's the one where when Eric had to get everything out of
And
the,
he had to have the golf carts in a heated or something,
Right,
or some
because-
things in a heated area, yeah.
took stuff out of cold
Okay.
storage in some other areas and had.
And that they just took forever to send the bill,
Right.
okay, thank you.
Okay, I have a question on 41. The last item on there, we're already paying for the parks building internet even though it's not installed.
No, it's still for the Mill Road.
Current building
Okay,
has
got
that
it.
in there.
Thank you.
What's Conway O&E check?
Attorney,
Randy Nesbitt.
Oh, that's where Randy's out of? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I just expected it to say Randy. I'm kidding, sorry.
Is there a reason that Internet at Marina is more? Is it because they've got?
They have two connections there for reasons that don't make sense to me.
Okay.
Well, you find yourself two more geeks for the tech committee, you guys figure it out.
I had one question on 43, actually, it's the last item. And that's schematic building design. This is what
Yeah, that's for Marina,
Marina.
for their engineering. And
I know.
I mean architect.
Gotcha. Thank you. I'll make a motion to accept unless somebody else has something.
I'll second.
You wanna make a motion that we're gonna pay the bills in the
Yeah.
amount of $329,511.80.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Houston, second by Kadanko. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Okay, staff reports.
I will start. So we have Eric's, I'm not sure if there's any questions, but I think he is still online, and we also have Megan's.
I wanna say something to Eric. Talk to me about Pebble Beach cameras. I've done some digging on that. I've actually got some information. Is he still on? Okay.
No offense, sir, Chad. On page 47, it just dawned on me the other day, we keep talking about, the update on the old drive access, in front of the condos. There's two in front of Husby's. Should we not be addressing that also?
The what were you saying? The what?
On 42,
In front of your, where the old driveway used to be, there's two curb
Here's what I'm
cuts.
saying. When it, I sell this every time, even the one in front of the condo. When the road people came through, they gave us property owners the right to keep those. We drive up on that for Fall Fest, we bring things in and out. They gave everybody that had a drive the right to grandfather that in,
Oh, okay,
so we kept it and other people kept it. That
okay,
was through the DOT. It
Okay.
had nothing to do with the village saying, we're gonna put this there, not let you, it was all DOT, the DOT let us do that, that's why it was that way.
okay.
So, anyway, that kind of one, when they claim, when they always want that not to be there. Or they want it to be there now, nobody parked there, well, we can do whatever we want there. But that's why that's there.
Okay.
The Kenny's property.
Well, because I just thought, well, we're taking care of one, why aren't we taking care of the other one?
You're talking on 42.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, we have the right to
Okay.
keep that, or
Never
the
mind.
DOT. So we kept it.
Why are we wanting to set up cameras at Pebble Beach?
Because people are stealing stones.
What are you gonna do if you get them stealing stones on a camera? Like, are you gonna
Get
have
their
somebody
license
sit
plate
over
number?
there? What if they're parked along the street?
So you're not gonna,
I'm just saying, I understand the reasoning behind it, but I don't think you're going to be able to enforce.
there's some other challenges on there. Dollars. Gonna be a big one, but I do think you'd have a chance of enforcing it, but. I guess I just wanted to make sure that Eric wasn't gonna spend time digging into that because I already had it.
What if we do, I mean, I know there's always gonna be people stealing rocks and I hate that they do. But when you go to Washington Island I wonder how effective those spots are, like, we drove by and literally stopped and like, kids, if you took any rocks, you put it in that drop box right now, it's like, you have to drive by it on your way out, I think that's kind of a cute alternative to the cameras, I don't know how effective it is, but.
yeah, it's clever.
I think you're looking at well over $10,000 to get cameras there, so.
Like, that reads plates, right?
Well, I mean,
I mean,
even then
maybe-
you've got some challenge there. I don't wanna go down that. I mean, like, I got into a deep dive on that, and plate reading is gonna be a real challenge there. We couldn't be done, but yeah. I think that that's gonna be a heck of a lot more cost effective and a lot better feel for our visitors.
We could put up a dummy camera and just be like,
That is,
Do you
You're
think
stealing
I
rocks.
care on a better feel for people who read the signs and take
I
the
know you
rocks?
don't care, but
anyway?
there are other trustees
Well, I'm
that
gonna
do.
spend 10,000 on a camera, I can tell you that. No way,
It's not just the camera, you've got,
either way.
I mean,
You have to have the DVR to go with it.
you've also gotta get power, you've got internet there.
it's somebody that has to look at camera footage occasionally. I'll tell you, it is laborious, it is tedious, it is
I
painful.
just want them to know that.
You're gonna,
Sure.
I'm all for preserving Pebble Beach. If anything, put 2 armed guards there. Let's do that. That'll be more effective.
Perfect.
But to read through that
Why?
camera footage, to try to camera A to camera B to see, is that the same person? Zoom in on the license plate, to do that stuff, $10,000, no. I mean, our cameras don't do anything of that quality and they cost $10,000. It's gonna be way more than that. And it's gonna take,
It costs less than 10,000.
you're not gonna zoom in and see a license plate,
And I can.
one camera.
There,
No,
you're
I
not gonna
don't-
see
I
license plate public.
You're gonna need 20 of them.
Yeah,
throughout this
guys,
project
we're-
to follow people.
We're at 9 o'clock here. I just wanted to keep Eric from having to do work. That's why I said something about it. I didn't want to discuss it.
Perfect.
Okay, so we have Megan's report here.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you have mine.
Oh, Megan, is she here?
She's usually on the call. Megan, are you on the call? She's here.
It's okay if she's not, you might as well, going back to DIP, that's the one thing I forgot to talk about, the shit dryer.
Oh, we can.
We're still gathering
Okay,
information.
yeah.
We have a long way to go.
Okay, cool, I just hadn't heard about it.
I'll get you the facilities report that we got.
Yeah.
I just got the digital today.
Cool.
And maybe that should be sent to everybody.
Well, it probably should just be an agenda item for the board to discuss,
It's not ready for you to discuss.
but
yet.
when it.
By the time we want to spend money, we need to discuss it.
Yeah.
So on Julie's report, I'm interested to know how the triangle pin went.
It went really good. We had I thought a good turnout.
How many people do you think? Was it here? Was it?
It was here
Okay.
and we had, I don't wanna say every property owner, but we had a pretty good, we had a good share. I'd say about 15 people. A lot of questions.
Okay.
The guy who was here first was also the guy who was here last. He stayed that long. But a woman come right in at the end. We had some good feedback, some good comments. Some proposals that'll go back to parks. You know, we've talked about one way throughout there before. We talked about a traffic study that came up again. So as you know, at the meeting, so that'll go back to parks. You know, there was discussion about should we require everyone to hook their sump pump up? Or at least offer that to them to hook into the lateral, so that'll go back to parks. And, I forgot the third one, Louise, I told you and I forgot, I told you at the beginning of the meeting and I
It
already
was one
forgot.
way, it was
The
water, it was the laterals.
But there
Admin
was,
building,
so I have a list, but pardon me?
admin building, was that one of them?
The admin building, yes, we still have to decide on that.
No, I know, but the feedback.
Feedback.
Yeah, so we don't have all the feedback, so it was really good, we had good feedback. But the comment period is open for 30 days. So after those 30 days, then we're gonna take all the comments, feedback and see what the public has recommended we do with that.
And is this online also?
So it was emailed to every single property owner, and then it is under news and notices. We had told people that after the public informational meeting, it would be posted online. If we did it ahead of time, they wouldn't come to the meeting and they wouldn't get the full information, so we waited till after the
It went out
PIM.
today.
Yeah, and then,
To every property.
so they can
or
comment on it.
Everybody in the village or just in that area?
just in the triangle.
Well, I think for when it comes to something at the village hall.
No, I got it, but
The
I'm not in that area.
But the
but
admin, that's more of a village-wide.
If
Input,
you sign up for newsletters or you sign up for village
You know what I'm saying?
information, you got
because
it,
it's a,
because I got it and I don't live in that area. So I got it, just like I got all village notices, but it's on the homepage.
The news and
Under news
notices,
notices.
and it's on the homepage, and Louise is right, that email blast goes out to, I think, 750. And,
There's no form, there's no.
no, it says to
You gotta go to the admin office.
it tells me, it says to email me. I had quite a few people call me or email me today saying, hey, can you send me a copy of the concept plans? And I did.
No, but I thought you were, to fill out
Oh.
a form, there's no place.
To make a public comment.
I understand
During
what
the-
you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah, so that public comment sheet was
mail.
sent to every property owner in the triangle, not public wide.
So
Well,
there's
was
no
it-
other public comment except for the triangle.
Right, Right, it was set up that the only ones that would be
Okay.
commenting are the ones that have to live. there.
Anybody could look at the map, but you
But
have
we-
no input.
Well, except in the email only shows concept 2, not concept 1. When
The
you click
email
on the
doesn't-
link.
I don't think any of them are on the link, are they, Sarah?
Well, there was an area for a picture, a photo, so I
Okay,
uploaded
it
one
says, click
photo.
on the link,
I
click
can
on the
take
link,
the
it's only
photo off,
concept 2. Yeah. And it says if you wanna see it, come to the event building.
Or,
That's
or contact Julie.
Right, but I mean, how are you gonna talk about that?
Can,
over
can
the
we
phone?
put something on our website with it? I mean, as far as, I mean, the architectural firm must have has digital stuff.
I have them.
So you're,
Yeah, like a link to all the information. I think.
that's the one.
We can put them all up there.
Yeah,
Yes, I put up and I don't know, whatever.
But in terms of actual forms, no one filled them out yesterday. Some people took them home to fill out. If you're looking for an actual form that someone will fill out for comments, I think we'll have very few.
Yeah,
I'll
and
fill that
most people
first.
gave the comments to the
Just saying,
engineers
we're not gonna have
as she was standing there to Jennifer and Jared. And they had their notebooks there and they're writing everything down. So they had a whole list of comments from the people that were there. I thought it was really good. I mean, I was glad to see
The
people
people
show
that
up.
came because they own property around there and they're worried about losing driveways. They're worried about losing stone walls. People that I talked to 4 or 5 people, that was the concern, and they're worried about losing parking.
Yeah, and I know we had talked at one of the meetings about people that are currently using that parking space and what are they gonna,
Yeah.
how are they gonna be hurt?
Right.
And I talked to all of them too, and there's one I did not talk to, but Jennifer did. And I think my understanding, could be wrong, because we haven't heard from everybody yet. But my understanding is the one that's gonna lose parking is it's a single family home. But they have 5 cars in the family, and there's only room for 2 on their lot.
Is that Brad's house?
Well,
Yeah.
Martin, just remember too, that Martin's, that's 5 units.
Yeah, he does have parking there, he has,
He has 2 parking spaces on the left and an old driveway. My son used to live there. And then there are 2 parking places in front, because he had the garden apartment.
well, Martin is the old Razor house that
Yep.
hangs over the highway, and in front of that propane tank. I think they can get like 5 cars in there.
I've seen it, okay.
yeah, that's
Alright.
probably about,
Yeah, I mean,
I'd say 4 to 5.
if you look at zoning. Like even the lady who has a need for 5 spaces. The code says you have to have 2, she has the 2, so. I mean. People have what they need, I think, they have what is required. But then some people just have more cars, and then how do you deal with that? But anyways, all of that will go back to parks, and then once we get everything cleaned up, it'll go back to the board. For you to approve the plan, the design, and after that, we can put it out for bid. I'm sorry, after that, we're gonna engineer. The infrastructure, the sewer lateral, that stuff, and then it'll.
I think that some pumps hooking up, especially for those ones up on the bluff, is a no-brainer. Like, that's a good input, because, I mean, it all just runs down on the road. I mean, with curb and gutter, it'll move easier and better, which is good. I'll miss out on all the sand deposits I get in my driveway.
Yeah, and even on Parkview, those guys are taking in a lot of water. Some of them on Parkview,
Probably,
down at the end,
or
down,
JJ's there, yeah, down there, yeah, it's wet back there,
But that'll go back.
but it's also a swamp.
I do have some concerns that we're not gonna have a whole lot of written response or opinions on. Village hall, sorry, admin bills in or not,
Well, I don't think,
Concept 1 or 2.
I don't think the admin building has anything to do with me owning a house back there, right? I think that's a
Right. but I'm just-
village-wide
just
decision,
saying
not
that I'm
a,
not-
Chad, you get to
Yeah.
decide, and your neighbors.
I know, I
That-
just,
To me, that's, the road structure, yeah, our input shouldn't matter a lot, but whether or not we keep that building, I don't think that should be weighted. That should
I'm
be,
not suggesting that. What I'm
Yeah.
suggesting is that nobody knows.
yeah, I mean,
Nobody knows what.
Nobody knows that there's a choice between taking that building down or not.
that's, we
Pretty
gotta,
simple.
we gotta communicate
No
that,
one-
maybe the
no.
Pulse could write an article about it. This
Well,
is a
hold
good
on.
Pulse
I
thing.
think we need to finalize the 2 designs, these little idiosyncrasies that we were talking with people about. One guy said, well, can you put a curb cut here? Let's get those plans finalized, one with an admin building, one without. and then push that out, because my concern is if you push something out that hasn't even been vetted by a committee, you're really, this happened with the admin building, right? A plan was put out there that wasn't the plan, and it caused a lot of uproar. So let's wait till we have the 2 concept plans and then push them out for public
It's
comment.
fine, because we haven't shown the public
So-
yet.
So then the parks will deal with this again after
Well,
the
it's in the
30.
packet, or it's on the one picture's on the.
Concept 2, and you can barely see it,
Also.
and you have no place to even make a comment.
Yeah, what I suggested is there is that we just put,
Otherwise,
so we don't have one biasing there, because you're taking, on the landing page, you're showing one option.
I don't have space for 2 photos, so.
it's not the
So
way to
you
do
put
it
what's
anyway.
existing there, so you're just saying this is what's there now, and
It's not the way to do it anyway. You know, you should have separate PDFs, and there should be a place for them to be able to fill something in digitally and email it back.
So when it goes to the Parks Committee, we will have the space to put all of those PDFs out there. Under who the notice, it only allows you 1.
Yeah.
Just remove the picture.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't put any other one in there, just remove it.
But they have to see the designs, don't they?
no, I'm sorry. Okay.
I think once we have the corrected ones, Louise,
Yeah.
the 2 that they should be looking at, then I think that's a good time to put them out there for public comment.
Okay, so there could be a link to both.
Right.
Okay.
After Jennifer makes those minor tweaks, like there was one where I had a typo or something.
That sounds good.
Let her clean it up.
Anything else for staff reports?
No, we've all read it. I've announced my retirement. Attended the Housing Partnership Open House, which was really nice. They thanked the village for the land for those houses. Parks Building Open House, I was out there because I was sick, but I was told staff said it was a good success. They were very happy with the turnout that was there. We had that triangle public informational meeting this week, next Monday. It's the one on the 57 trail. Clerk updates, like it says, we're running a background check. And then the Parks Committee is gonna be diving into the outdoor recreation plan next Tuesday. And hopefully, we can get that wrapped up and get that to the board so it can be approved in time to submit our Highway 42 grant application, since you have to link to a plan when you apply.
Next Monday. The
Yes,
22nd.
yeah.
Okay, you just said Tuesday. I just want to
I'm sorry.
Where's the 57 trail public input?
Here,
It is, okay.
here, but it might be in the hallway if the EMS people show up, because we double booked. I should say we double booked.
What time is it?
5 to 6
5 to
it says.
6.
6? Because we.
No, it's not at 6.
5 to 6 it says.
5 to 6?
Because one
Well, that's what it says
Got
in
the corp
notes.
review.
Oh,
outdoor
yeah,
rec
it's
review.
whatever's in here. It's only 1 hour, the 7 to 57 trail one.
Okay,
Hey, the housing partnership, awesome, really cool. I think we just know a model going forward, and I'm not saying maybe the village pays for all the property and all the infrastructure. But putting people in a single family home around communities is a pretty special thing. And we can continue to do that without trying to have some huge affordable housing thing. All we gotta do is go one road at a time, little by little. And if we do that, we'll accomplish a lot in this community. So when we look at Wiltie and we look at all this stuff, we don't have to build a whole neighborhood in a day or a year. We can just do it little by little. And I'm proud of us for approving that back in the day. It's really cool to see 2 families, and I know both those families, one of them really well. It's a game changer. So let's just keep doing that. Public-private partnership. There's a lot of money that people will pitch into that shit, and it won't have to come out of our pocket.
Or don't limit it to single family houses.
I'm not, but I'm saying, we're building apartments, we've approved we approved a lot of things.
Yes.
Single family homes for a family is a wonderful thing. And I'm just complimenting on the village and everybody's part in that, because it's pretty damn cool. And if we had other communities doing it, think how cool Lower County could be.
But not limiting it to just single family.
I'm not limiting it, that's.
But no,
good.
Denise asked me, I'm repeating myself for Denise, not for you.
Yeah, if I can take 3 minutes. I had a conversation with a local, yesterday morning. And, a long conversation. Born and raised here, wife born and raised here, no children, yet. They're in their thirties. And I think I am thinking more and more about single family homes because we took the deep dive. There's a lot of apartments being built, and yes, that is an option for people. But when you are paying the same amount for rent as you would be for a mortgage, you will never, most likely, be ever to save enough money to get yourself out of renting.
Not if you
And
build
so I think
apartments. with
that we
affordable
should
rent.
focus more on single family homes because those are life changing.
Well, and the Habitat for Humanity and private financing. You know, there's a lot of things to this, and it doesn't have to all be the village's
Right.
pocket.
Right,
The
but I'm
village
just
has the
talking
land.
about what kind of housing, because I'm not so sure that, I'm gung ho on the village getting involved in apartment housing because it just prolongs the pain.
Why,
You don't get out of it.
Duplexes, row houses, triplexes, anything like that.
I just was talking about apartments.
So, yeah, but I guess but those other things are not single family homes, and that's where I'm saying, and it all has a place, and we're moving the ball forward. Thank you for the compliment, Chad.
Yeah.
That's what I should have said.
Single family, private ownership in those are
Yes.
done the same way.
Okay,
So then we move on to, we need to schedule,
we got the
I'm sorry.
committee reports here.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, committee reports. So we have minutes in here from finance committee. Any questions on that?
On the second one, on page 4, Laskowitz was excused. That needs to be notated. And on page 5, on page 29, nothing against staff, but I thought it was a pretty brilliant idea, and I would like to take credit for it, that Berto also recommended researching the potential of using cash payments rather than bonding for the Mill Road project, seeing that Adam and Justin think it's a good idea.
What page is this? You said 29?
No,
No,
line 9,
5.
Line 5, okay, 5, line 9, okay. Thank you.
but it's also mentioned on line 29. Did you know that? I think. that's what
Yeah, it
I should
says-
say.
Yeah, you've said that for a while.
And it says that on line 29, am I wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I just wanted to take credit for that it was my idea.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said,
So
well, it's there. I'm
Okay,
like, wait, it's there. Okay.
Do we wanna go through all your ideas right now, or just?
No,
Okay,
just the ones that in the minutes, Chad.
perfect.
these are unapproved minutes, so any correction there is gonna actually have to happen at finance. Okay. And we have housing.
I'm very concerned on line 33.
What page are you on?
7,
6.
6.
That Lauren, she explained that the Parks Committee's reasoning about not wanting to disrupt plants seemed misplaced when considering potential safety risks. I do not remember a conversation that that's why we did not want to put up a fence. Louise,
I thought there was something about safety risk, but I don't know that it was why we did not want to put up the safe.
right, plants had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Well, what we gave them was the minutes. So she's saying that based off of the Parks Committee minutes.
Okay.
So why don't you want to put the fence around the stormwater pond?
There's other stormwater ponds that don't have fences around them. The pond was there before the development came in. If they want a fence,
The Shoals can put a fence.
the Shoals
So
can
you
put
would
up a
let
fence. Sure.
Is there any stormwater pond that has a fence around it? Because I can't
No.
think of any.
No,
Yeah, but I can see that one being particularly worrisome with small children because you have a bunch of apartments there with small children, whereas I'm guessing the other stormwater ponds aren't surrounded by apartments.
There's others that are.
I'm just saying, I can see why she sees it as
Sure.
fence.
The other ones are private, this one's public,
Yeah.
makes a difference.
Yeah. Okay. And library commission. So one thing I noticed is somebody used AI for the report. Which is not a bad thing. Page 22 is almost certainly generated by ChatGPT. That was perfectly reasonable use of it there. I just had not seen that in our packets before.
God, I wish I'd had that instead.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Okay, personnel committee. Okay,
Supervisor contracts. Line 36, our finance director no longer wants to be a department head, and you guys okayed that.
What page?
24.
36.
So, and I saw that the bills were signed finance specialist. What does this mean?
It means that he will be non-exempt. Correct?
That's one of the things it means, right? He's no longer a department head, he will not supervise
At his
people, and
request.
you will
Yeah,
not
I
exempt.
understand.
What is non-exempt?
He's gonna get overtime, he has to work specific hours. Like I'm exempt, I'm salaried, I can put in 60 hours and I'm still paid for 40. When you're non-exempt, if you put in 60, you get paid for 60.
Gotcha.
So,
Not a salary position anymore.
I'm guessing that's not why he
be
made
one on
that
that
change.
page.
no, it was, I think it's explained in the minutes why he asked for the change, there were a couple of reasons. I think. I'll let the minutes speak to themselves on
Yeah.
that. I think it's explained in there.
Sorry.
did you
Sorry,
have
on
anything,
line
Kurt?
14.
Yeah, line 21, it mentions that I thought it would lead to less productivity on his part. I didn't say that, man. I wouldn't say productivity for one. I'd say, hey, man, I know the guy does a good job and it's just the guy wanted to have more time with his family is what it amounted to.
Okay,
I'm not
well,
concerned about him being productive or not. The guy's great. And he's one of the only people left. Man.
Then could you'd wanna amend that at
Yeah.
the personnel meeting? when we go
Yeah.
through it. Cause what's
Great,
happening is you have,
let's,
you have the software picking up what you're saying. And a lot of times, if you talk over the other person, it's not picking it up correctly. So you always wanna make sure we're not talking over, so it picks it up correctly. So it may have just picked it up that way.
okay.
utilities.
Oh.
Or do you have more?
No, just, so when a member of the public harassed an employee, this happened down at the marina. Okay.
Right.
What happened?
It's on page 27, line 4.
Just so everybody knows, that's because that has made us realize our employee handbook needs a little tweaking.
We just needed to add it, right?
All right, utilities? And we'll get that, and, I don't know, Megan send out that, or Julie send out the facility study.
Right,
to all
I'll
of
send
the
that out.
farmers.
Thank you.
I think it is posted online, with the agenda, but we'll make it easier on the trustees, we'll actually deliver it to your email.
It's, I don't think it was in the agenda, so I think that, did it?
Presentation is, it's the presentation, that's all we have right now.
Okay.
But we can send that out.
Okay. All right. And is there a motion to accept the committee reports?
So moved. Oops, second.
Motion by Bertle, second by Hassan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Matter to be placed on a future agenda, referred to committee, official or employee.
Yes. We need to talk about funding EDC. Are you gonna do that in finance first thing?
Yes.
We need to talk about how we are changing our process for these fines. At the very least, we must allow a longer period of time so people could come in and have time to present to us. And we need to ask Joel Kitchens to be here to talk to us about whether or not he is gonna support us funding Knowles Nelson. We need him here for that one.
I'll reach out to Joel.
When's the legislature, they put that together with the budget, right? I think so.
I mean, that was this spring, there was a big push for Knowles Nelson, but
Well, it's all between Evers and the legislature, because Evers won't, at this point, I think won't budge, and like legislature wants to, that was my impression, but not, maybe nothing's changed, I don't know.
Is there anything else you think we wanna talk to Joel Kitchens about? I mean, if we invite him.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just have a closed
Prepare
session
now.
with them,
Short-term rent.
let's do that.
Okay, cause just so we prepare him, I mean,
yeah, we don't wanna. have-
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
No, surprising him last time when he said, well, I don't really like to talk about those things. Well, why is that, Joel?
I'm fine with you guys wanting to discuss anything you want. These things, we all know the importance of Knowles Nelson in this community, that in this state, it should be a bipartisan issue, in my opinion. Yeah, like it's just, I don't need to get into everything with him because I know what his answers are gonna be on everything else, but this one, you know, back when Pebble Beach was going on and we were awarded the full amount and then we were not awarded the full amount, and I met him at Pebble Beach and I got 100-some grand more out of him because of the process and how shitty it was, but he at least did that. So I think we need him in here to talk about that, and I don't need to get him on anything else personally.
Yeah, I wanna get him on
That's
that.
very important. I mean, whatever, I'm not saying that good, bad, or ugly, like, this is something that I would hope he would be fighting for. And if he's not, I need to hear it.
I think because we have never sent the letter. I think we should talk to him about what we talked about sending the letter about to him and other.
Who's our state senator, by the way?
Uh,
It's not Bubble Boy anymore, right?
Who?
Jacques,
Jacques.
Yeah,
Yeah, would tell Jacques to come in too. Talk about Knowles Nelson, cause that's. He was in the bubble, he was a non-believer and he was in the bubble last time, that's what I thought the Kitchens dealt with the Senate actually, which was not. But yeah, we should get them here to talk about that, in my opinion.
about
Knowles Nelson.
short-term rentals. And if you were a, premier resort area tax. So there's only a handful of us, I think under 12.
I'll see you from in Sturgeon Bay.
Well, across the state,
That
that we should be able to have different rules, or we are exempt from their rules, or something that we.
I think everybody should be a premier resort tax area if they want to be. Right?
no, I think what Denise is saying is that
She's
we would
going
have
for.
less restrictions on our
We
short-term
should
rental
be able to have-
regulation because we're a Pratt area, right?
I'm
She
saying
wants more
that-
restriction, she wants different rules.
No, I would like us to have zones. I think that there's appropriate areas.
I wish the state would allow us to do that.
And so that's what I wanna have that conversation to see, you know. What can we claw back of, you know, determining what's best for our village? And so that we can allow certain areas, the waterfront,
I don't disagree with you, I just don't
But
think
I think-
that's gonna.
but can't we talk to them about two things?
Oh, absolutely. I don't, like I said, you can talk to them about anything you guys want, but this is something that I think.
Well, no, I don't wanna bring it up if
Yeah.
nobody else wants to talk about that, but we were gonna send a letter once and we haven't
Yeah.
sent it.
I'm fine, but with whatever else you wanna talk about, I'm not trying to restrict or push an agenda, I just think this is something we can all agree on.
Well,
And we should be able to get our representatives to agree on this and fight
And
for
give
this
us
for
their
this state.
word that they're
And fight for this for our state. If not, they need to be on their record and they need to be called out because this should not be a partisan issue. And it has been funded for God knows how long and how much land has been preserved and whether it be for hunting and fishing.
Okay,
You know,
Chad,
That's
we'll
great.
get this on
I would rather
for future meetings.
focus on something.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay,
could be.
anybody else have something you want to put on for a future agenda? Okay. Let's move on to the next meeting, scheduling the budget hearing, scheduling the SIP, and scheduling a special board meeting. So let's start with the budget hearing.
Well, what about the village board SIP and budget update? Which right now says 10/21.
Right
Well,
now,
10/13, finance will meet.
Yeah.
We'll have staff make the changes.
But is the 10/21 is the one that, let's start with that, right? Is that scheduled?
None of these are scheduled. What happens every year is the board has to set their schedule. And these are the recommendations.
Oh, 10/21 is a regular
presented
board
to you.
meeting. Yeah, 10/21 is a regular board meeting. So the
if
10
there's any alteration to the budget, does this give us any? I mean,
I personally think it's pushing it, I personally think it's pushing it too tight. I think we should have had those public hearings earlier, only because if there's something really controversial and you want another hearing or another meeting on it, you're really running out of time on it. But this is, I know this is, what many people want, so we have to decide. We're just gonna have to make sure we get our work done at the meetings we have scheduled. We're just not gonna have that luxury of having a schedule that allows for extra meetings if we need them.
So the 13th, finance has to finalize SIP and budget, correct? And then that goes to the board for review on the 21st, if I'm reading this correctly.
is there a reason that finance can't do that before the 13th, so we can get?
Because we won't have third quarter finals. Actuals
Yep, that was in the minutes.
until 2 weeks. It was in the minutes if you read that.
So we've done this previous years, though. We have absolutely done that before that timeline, before that 13th date. I mean, I believe that we had one that was in the first 10 days of October in 23.
So whether we did or didn't, are we good with?
We did it because our financial specialist said that he could not get it before the 13th.
I think the other thing is too, we wanna make sure we have the best, most accurate data we can to avoid issues later on.
Sure, we're good.
So, well, that's why we're doing it the 13th.
So then what is
At
it,
least we have.
What else?
Actual numbers through.
could we do to give ourselves one meeting of wiggle room on there?
It's kind of late now, because we're really pushing up to it unless you scheduled an extra meeting in there. I think that, I will say this, the finance committee has put a lot of time into it this year. I personally think, well, Denise has spent a lot of time meeting with Vlad on it. I think that I don't remember the finance committee meeting as often as they have. I mean, we've met twice in the last month.
Why don't we push the board
Because
meeting
one
back
was
to the
just,
28th of October?
What
And then
was
it
the SIP
gives you
and
another
then,
week.
then we're gonna do budget, right?
Why don't we push the board to the 28th of October, Tuesday? And it gives you another week.
That's plan commission.
Oh, yeah, duh.
We've swapped those in the past for other reasons,
Could you swap them?
but then what does that really do for us? That just gives us,
No, I thought you were looking for more time.
I mean, you'd have to schedule,
I don't think we're gonna get it though, because if you're waiting till you have your third quarter financials. And, you know, you're already looking at a hearing on Halloween. You have to have a 15-day notice in the paper. So you don't have that much room in there. At this point.
So it
It's
sounds-
already September.
this is the only option we have. Okay,
I don't know how many people we're gonna get on Friday night, which is also Halloween for the hearing, but.
No, the public hearings on the,
Oh, that's when the public, the notice is due. I'm so sorry. Okay, got it.
okay. So
Can we
you're,
get public notice by 10/31,
They wanna,
by 10/24,
right,
to be published the following week? Gotcha.
so when is the public hearing then? I mean, that's saying we're gonna put it out there, but then the public hearing is gonna be on the 18th.
During the, at St. Thomas Board meeting.
correct, your public hearing is on November 18th.
Does it do us any good to have a public hearing before that?
I don't want a public hearing at the same, we'll be here till midnight. If we incorporate it with a board meeting.
So can we do it on the,
Last year we did, I think the CIP was separate and then the budget. This year, you're combining them together.
can we do it on the 11th? I mean, that's gonna be finance committee meeting, but you could get that done earlier in the day and then we could. Because we should still have the required 15 days if we get in there by the 24th.
Julie, does CAP need like public hearing? Probably not.
The
Just
CIP
about
does not have a public hearing. We, however, do like to have a public hearing on it because it is part of the budget. And then we also want the public input on it.
So what if we don't have 15 days notice on the CI? Well, I mean, I guess we're.
On the, you have to have it on the budget.
I understand that.
You don't have to have it on the CIP, but we're doing them together
Right,
anyway,
so it doesn't.
so it doesn't really matter.
What's the, look at doing it on the 11th or the 12th, the public hearing? Of November.
Don't you have to publish it 15 days ahead of time? They're getting it on the 24th, but they're not gonna publish it on the 10th,
They'll publish it on October 31st.
so that's not 15.
So then we have to do.
I think we just have to know, this is a tight schedule, you know, we're close to the deadline, we just have to make sure we're all prepared, look at stuff ahead of time, so there's not surprises on the floor and we're discussing them like we've never seen them before, we just have to do our homework and be ready.
The only other thing is we don't, I mean, the finance is not meeting. The whole month of September. Because we talked about wanting to have
Waiting
third
for the-
quarter actuals.
Right.
And we just got the accurate insurance information last week too. So,
So I mean,
This week.
pardon me? This week, sorry.
Yeah.
Are you guys worried about the board
Sorry.
meeting going long? Is that why you don't wanna do it during the board meeting?
Yes,
Yeah. it's-
Well, I mean, most of your biggest naysayers are not on the finance committee, so we don't need it.
you've got a 4-page letter.
Last year,
Why
I'll
don't we do-
be there to do that, I already have.
Why
the
don't we do a public
information.
hearing on the 17th then? Let's do it the Monday before. Monday
I'm
night.
fine with that, but what? I know I put a lot of things in, well, won't even be here for October, because that's our employee dinner. But for November, can we make it a super light meeting? Can we limit it, no DC type people coming in, don't let Joel come in that day. And then do both. I mean, but obviously important pressing things that we need to do, we put on the board.
Limit the board agenda if you do it with.
I mean, is there
Well,
anything?
what-
I think that's gonna be pretty tough to do, cause I'm sure that there are things that Julie wants to get off of her desk. And clean up before her
Then we do
retirement.
another meeting, do it the Monday before.
I'm not doing what Zeke did to us. Just gonna say that right now in the meeting.
What's
I'm
that?
not gonna do that 6 hour, I'm walking out the door, I need to get all this stuff done. I understand there's things that Julie's gonna wanna do and she's gonna have to prioritize. These are the ones we really have to get done, but we're in it for the village.
Well, isn't she doing village work?
So let's do this. So we have the 13th is put to bed, the 21st is put to bed, that's our board meeting, okay? Those are done. We know we have to get it to the Pulse on the 24th in order for it to be published the 31st. That's done. So we have 3 dates we have to figure out. The others
15,
are done,
16, 17.
finished.
Yeah.
You know?
Do it on Monday?
So 11, 18, 19, and 21. So I don't know if we can't move up.
It's 15 days after the 31st, so it's only
Right.
the 17th.
Right,
17th is the
Yep.
only,
1, 2.
Okay.
The 17th is the earliest, otherwise, yeah, otherwise it's a weekend, 17th is the earliest.
Well, then it has to be the 17th.
But you get a day instead of the 18th, that's it.
Or you make the board meeting on Monday and. But that's kind of ridiculous, when we always meet on Tuesday.
I think you should, if that's the case, you would want to have the public hearing on the 17th, so the board can act on it the following day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is that gonna be at 6 o'clock?
A special board meeting.
Yeah, let's go. It's a board meeting, 6 o'clock.
On the 17th, correct?
And I'm really sorry, but I am on vacation that day. I am on vacation that day. I think that's.
And then the 18th is the public hearing, am I right?
The 18th is the board meeting,
Board
the 17th is
So
the
that's-
public hearing.
The actual adoption.
Okay, sorry.
Steve, you should get an award for sticking this out. It's pretty cool.
Thank you guys for what you do. You were just reminded me yet again, every once a quarter.
Why you won't go back on the
I'm
board?
not gonna go back on the report.
Good idea, but thank you for that little tidbit of information that our trail is on the wrong side of the road.
Wouldn't it be great if we could have these?
So let's keep, as we keep scheduling here,
Side, put a toggle in there or something.
do we need to schedule the SIP hearing then?
No, there doesn't need to be a SIP hearing.
Well, we're gonna talk about it, do we normally schedule a separate SIP hearing? We don't.
We did last year, I think.
Separate?
Can we just put it on for the public hearing?
Well, it is together.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Got that, so we were both on 11, the 17th.
That's it all, 7.
Okay,
So we adopt the.
Is there any way that we
Public
can meet
safety
at 5:30 instead of 6?
Deal.
Sure. For both? On the
No,
17th?
just Mondays. I don't want to change the board meeting, but just Monday,
so everybody wants?
5:30.
That's probably fine.
So we're meeting. Finance is meeting 11/11. According to this.
Mhm.
We hadn't talked about that yet.
what time?
I don't.
We didn't-
1 o'clock?
We hadn't talked about it, whenever,
1 o'clock?
that works for me. Is that good for you?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we need to schedule a special board meeting as soon as possible. We've got to go over some contracts and clean up stuff from Randy.
So, next week,
Can we do it next Monday?
I can't be here.
we have the corporate review, we have the 57 trail, and there's something else.
Okay.
57 trails an hour long, but the corporate, it's the. outdoor
Yeah, that's
rec
gonna
thing we're
be-
Looking at,
Yeah,
that's 2 hours, it's from 1 to 3.
yeah, we're out because of the 57 trail and what, that's gonna be too much.
Why do we need a special board meeting?
For personnel, I mean, to talk through.
Personnel, and there's a couple cleanup items I've got from Randy, gotta go through.
Before next month's meeting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I would say too, since I announced my retirement, you have to start looking for an administrator, and I think you should probably talk about that at that meeting.
That's most of what that meeting's gonna be about.
Next week Tuesday is out for me.
Did this part plan,
Oh, yeah.
so it's gonna be. So we can't do it Monday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday or Thursday.
Well, you could have it without me. I don't care.
You can't come on either Wednesday or Thursday, I guess.
I don't wanna,
You don't want.
I don't have to, so I ain't gonna.
Okay, gotcha. I don't have to, I ain't gonna. Sounds like my little brother.
You have that on a magnet,
Let's
I'm
do-
sorry.
Does everybody, Wednesdays, everybody work for that?
Wednesday,
We can't do it on Monday, the 29th, the 5th week. The 5th
No, I
Monday.
don't want, that's every week we lose is a week we. No, we need to do it next week. I'd love to do it this week, but that's just not feasible. So it's gonna be 24th, 25th.
What are we doing, man?
Wednesday the 24th is good, does that work for either?
So we've got
Fine.
personnel.
Okay.
We
What
have
time?
to go through the
What- what-
process.
Right,
That's
I'm just saying,
three-
okay, what,
three
this
meetings
is a
in
special
total.
board meeting on what day?
That's what I'm asking right now.
That's the core plan, that's plan
I
commission,
got you.
3 meetings in a row.
Okay.
That's a lot to ask a staff.
Okay,
What about this Thursday, let's say?
Can we do it this? Fine.
this week,
If you wanna do it this week, it's fine with me,
Thursday?
this Thursday. Everyone,
Yeah.
today is that would be the 18th.
Okay,
What time?
Early,
I have something from 9 to
what's
11.
early?
I've got something at 2.
anytime on Thursday, early.
What about 3 o'clock?
3
3:30,
o'clock,
4?
Oh, sure, I thought you meant like 11.
What, well, I mean, you have something at 2, so, well, unless you wanna do it before that. I mean,
I work till 5.
you don't wanna be here. 5 o'clock, how about 5:15? Can you get here in 15 minutes?
Well,
And
Patrice
you could
wanted-
probably just have it without me.
No, you should be here.
No, no,
Oh, come on.
I wanna be here, but Thursday is not gonna work for me.
So let's do it 4 o'clock on the 18th then.
Well, Patrice wanted it a little bit earlier, to say.
4 o'clock is fine.
Well, I mean, okay. It's either that or we could do it like 11 o'clock in the morning, you know, cause
That's, what day are we talking about?
September 18th, this
September
coming
18th.
Thursday,
Day of the week is that?
day after tomorrow.
Denise, what about Friday?
Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do 11 o'clock.
which, okay, so we've got 11, we've got.
11, anybody 11, right, you're 11. Denise can't, right, you're working.
I work.
Kurt, can you do 11?
Out of my head right now, sure.
Okay. Do we have this room available?
There's gonna have to check,
Well, we can be in,
I would say we could be in
We could
the
be in
small
there.
one if it's,
unless the public shows up.
Well, are we gonna do close?
There's not gonna be a lot of closed stuff in there.
Contract won't be.
Well, approving a job description is an open session,
Yeah,
and because you've already interviewed and have reviewed that contract, it's only one contract to consider. That should be done in open session.
Okay,
and
fine.
then we have an open session vote too.
And for what?
We have an open session vote too.
Um,
On the agreement. Randy has said that we need to have a vote on the agreement.
oh,
I understand, yes, there's gonna have, but that's gonna have, that has to be an open, so.
So it's open.
oh, somebody should talk to me about that. I'll say that to Dr. Randy and find out what that's about. Yeah, okay, so, okay, those 3 things, Nate, then,
Yeah,
because
those-
we'll have to touch base on an
Yeah.
agenda right away tomorrow, because we
Yeah, you've
have
got-
to get that 24-hour notice.
Yeah, and then I've got the wording from Randy on the others, so I'll get that to you. I try to stop by the office tomorrow anyway.
Okay.
Great.
11 a.m. Thursday.
11 a.m. day after tomorrow, Thursday. And when you walk in, if somebody you don't know is here, go to the other room
Or we go out to the kitchen.
or the kitchen. No, not kitchen.
We've had,
I know, I've been to meetings in there.
we'll go to the beta, we can go on hour 22.
Okay.
Okay. Then. A motion to convene into executive session. Pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19851G to confer with legal counsel for a government body which.
Thanks for staying, Steve.
Rendering all the legal advice concerning
As always.
strategy to
Thank
be
you.
adopted.
Give you a big 4 hours.
Litigation, which is, these are likely to be involved.
This is easy for me.
Motion by Bell, second by White, roll call, Bell, yes.
Housing, yes. Berta?
Yes.
Shampoo, yes.
Coffee, yes.
white, yeah.
Okay, we're in closed, we're taking a bathroom break, 5 minutes or so.
All right. Oh, my husband.
Hey Sarah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I'm accidentally parallel logged in with you, so I don't know what to do. So we're using the same account. Should I log out?
Leave, I guess, yeah. Go ahead and exit.
I'm just
You'll have to
afraid that
hang this.
Yeah, because that agreement says
just afraid it's gonna quit the whole
Decided
thing.
no. So that.
I don't think it should.
Did it, you signed
No?
it.
Okay, you have a good
Yeah.
evening.
Can exit though, don't end the meeting, just exit, right?
Yeah, okay, I'm just leaving.
Okay, so,
Back in.
We got-
Nobody, everybody left.
We gotta make roll call to go back and open though.
Yes.
Bronco, yes.
White, yes.
Furto, yes.
House yes.
Harv, yes.
Shampoo, yes.
okay, so we are back into open session. In executive session, we had considered, 2 items under 19.85, parent one, parent G, period. It was, preserving foundations matter with Paul Anschutz, and then the second matter was Bertram Communications. So, is there a motion regarding the preserving foundations case?
Right, but I'm not quite sure what that motion should be.
It was.
Well, the notes I had here were, to file a summons and complaint with the court October 20th or shortly after.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay,
Okay.
Opposed.
Nay.
opposed was just Chad, right?
I just say again, this is to give her some grace to get back to dealing things in order.
So, so the second item was Bertram Communications. Is there a motion? What do we want to do with them?
Motion to sever the contract or is it, did we say sever? I don't know. To sever the relationship with Bertram Communications.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried unanimously. So, okay, do we, have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Everybody.
Third, fourth.
Aye.
Carried unanimously. Adjourned at 10:42.
Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Drive safe. Don't hit deer.